Oh my gosh. Kevin, Matt,
a treat every time.
epic, legendary guests.
Those videos were it was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, we heard from some of those guys already via voicemail, but that was like a little extra surprise, a little cherry on top.
We didn't know it was going to happen.
We had no idea. I certainly did.
No.
But like I said, sometimes I'll go see Kevin at trivia when he hosts trivia. And he told me the other day, he's like, man, I'm excited for episode 200. I got the word out to a bunch of people. No responses. No one has gotten back to me. So I don't know if he was lying to me and messing with me, or if maybe he just recently got those responses. It doesn't matter. It's a surprise to me. It's a surprise to you. And all those guys are great.
The primary 6 people that listen, and the other 15 people are here.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly right.
Who cares, right? It's awesome.
Okay, well, we've got, again, a lot more show. We haven't even broke down the pilot yet.
No, we have not even gotten there yet.
But we have more guests coming up, and we got one guest coming in right now. Someone who is...
Be our guest. Take our pilots to the test.
That's all I know.
That's all I got.
This is someone who was on once or twice. Is it twice? Okay. The first one was the guy, Anthony Perkins pilot, I believe.
How do you remember this stuff?
I'm struggling to remember, but it was a weird, like, Anthony Perkins had the stigma of, like, oh, I'm in Psycho, I'm kind of a weird dude, I have creepy, scary stuff, and it was an odd sitcom. It was a very macabre sitcom. The second one, I'm having trouble. Let's go ahead and bring the guest out. This is a fella who tweets the show often, who's brought us presents. Very few guests have ever brought us presents.
That's true.
His name is Jeff Simpson. We call him the Soap Man.
Soap Man, welcome to the show.
This is off.
Thank you guys. Hi.
Of course it's off. I don't have anything going on right.
Oh,
Sorry.
thanks. Okay, sit down, please. Yes. I love you too. Okay.
They all thought they were getting free soap. That was that.
When was the last time you were on the show? It's been a long time.
Okay, so the Ghost Rider was the first one.
Right.
That was Anthony Perkins.
Yes, and the other one was called Hey Neighbor.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
What I remember about that is a lot of people from that show, The State, were in there.
Yes, absolutely.
And it was not very good, and probably why it didn't get picked up.
Yeah, those guys, it was, I think, Tom Lennon, Michael Ian Black, and Kerry Kinney, I believe, were the 3.
I remember the Ian Black fella, but I don't
He
know.
even responded when we talked to him on Twitter. I think he said something like, can you tell us anything about it? He's like, it wasn't very good. So
he's a man of few words.
That's right. But Jeff hasn't been on in a long time.
Sure.
It's been a while.
It has been a while.
Schedule conflicts, I think, is what
Sure.
it's been.
And then he said something about not liking you.
Yeah, it's been schedule conflicts.
And what is it? Not liking what?
You.
That's probably accurate.
Right.
Totally schedule conflicts.
I've hung out with his wife a lot.
You have?
Oh, yeah.
Is that news to Jeff?
Huh? Oh, my bad.
I used to work
She
with
played
Jeff.
the bass for me. The bass.
Slapping the bass.
Slapping the bass.
Slapping the bass.
Is she a bass player?
Oh,
She played in a punk band.
She was a punk. How do you not know this stuff?
Okay, well, you know what? I pulled Anthony Perkins out of my ass, all right? I can't remember everything.
Sure. No.
Good
she used to
Lord.
be in a punk band.
Awesome. I believe it.
The Pet Peeves.
Oh, yeah. Where was that? Was that local here?
Albuquerque.
Ooh, Albuquerque, New
NM.
Mexico.
Love that NM, baby.
Love me some NM.
We had talked a long time ago.
N&M.
Oh, thank you. And also with you. Jeff had been a show on the episode a long time ago. We used to work together at a hotel. And I can't remember how it came up. But I never, I've worked with some people right now for a couple years. And very few, maybe one of them, knows that I have a podcast. And I don't know how it came up, Jeff, that we were talking about that I had a podcast. But you were like, hey, if this is what it's about, you should check out. Was it Ghost Rider, you said?
Yes,
You
it
should
was.
check out. You mentioned it to us. And so we had to have you on for that episode.
Yes, I know. I was extremely flattered and got me. I mean, I've been listening to podcasts for years. Never been a part of them. Just you guys.
That's I'm honored. I don't know about you. Like you seem to be on your phone during a live show at Wembley Stadium, but...
Well, I have a social media to take care of. I have a wife to take care of. And I just put my Uber Eats beer order in.
What does that mean? Are you having beer brought here?
No, I just texted our text chain and said, hey, somebody bring me a couple beers.
Oh. What kind of beer do you want?
I just said a couple because I don't really care what kind they are.
Jeff, are you a beer drinker?
Used to be.
Not now.
No.
Are you a sober fella?
Yes.
Okay, he hesitated. I think that means he smokes weed.
No, you know what? If I could, I would. I'm not hearing myself out of my headphones now. I don't know.
It's that cord. You just got to wiggle that red one.
What does
There,
it mean in January it'll be legal? Marijuana will be legal in Illinois? Is that right?
But so say I'm at work doing what I do.
Smoking weed.
smoking weed, and as all weed smokers do, you go over to the table saw. You know, you cut some rolling papers, and then you
The
get
table saw.
well, yeah, and then you get into an accident, and then they're gonna drug test you,
Right.
And so, from what I understand, it's a still federal
Right.
law. It doesn't
Yeah.
recognize it as being
Cool.
cool. It's
Federal law, man. Why can't you be cool?
Come on. I saw that cartoon. I'm a bill. I'm just a bill.
Yeah, I'm on Bill, man.
I'm on the Congress steps, man.
Why can't you be cool?
Come on, the states are cool. Why can't the federals be cool?
Where's the intersection there? The state says yes, but federal says no. So what does that mean for you, a man
dude.
who loves
I'm not
weed?
a politician. I don't. You know, I don't care, dude.
You don't care. All right, that's fair. So you're in a job right now where you're using a table saw?
Yeah, I am.
So what is that? Can I ask what the job is? What you do?
You can ask.
What do you do?
Well, thank you for asking.
Absolutely.
I work in Springfield. I work at a place that does cabinetry for private jets.
Cabinetry for private jets.
We've been thinking about redoing the cabinets in the
Air Force
I'm
One.
just saying, dudes. I could help you.
That is such a specific field of work, isn't it?
Right.
It's very specific.
Are you a woodsman or a carpenter by trade?
A woodsman. I love that.
You carry an axe at all times.
Yeah. It's very grand. Thank you. I was in trade school for carpentry back in the 90s.
I was
never
a carpenter, and you were a bass player.
I don't know that song.
That was clever.
What song was that?
I happen to know to be clever once in my life. It was just then.
I don't even know who sang that song.
Johnny Cash.
My
Did not.
My
No,
guess
it was
is-
If I was a carpenter and you were a lady, it was June Carter Cash and Johnny Cash.
My go-to for a guess is always Johnny Cash. I wish I would have said it. Anyway, so you're out there and you're making cabinetry.
Well, a lot of what I do is just take the cabinetry that's in the plane, take all the veneer off, strip it, if you will.
And you're going to high five that shit.
And
Not bad.
thanks.
You have
And
to
then
have good
re-veneer.
timing to be a cabinet maker. Right? You don't have to have good timing to be a cabinet maker.
No, you don't.
Okay, well, I wasn't saying anything.
He did not like that joke.
I know he did
not care for that at
I
all.
was like, Soap Man has never gave me a dirty look, but he just snuck
I
big time.
didn't know where we were. I'm sorry.
So do you have to travel to these planes, or is
No,
some fashion they
the
come
planes
to you?
come to me.
Do they really?
The planes come to me. I go to Springfield, and then the planes come to me. in
They really do
Springfield.
come to you.
Yes.
Wow. So do they fly to you? Does someone are they smaller planes where they bring them to you? How does that work?
Well, we are located right next to the Springfield Airport.
That'd be a good place for that
Okay.
business. Good
And,
location.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so they fly in. We've got 4 very generous sized hangars where the planes live until they're done. They come in and get inspected usually when somebody buys a jet, and I guess when that happens, they have to go through some rigorous inspection. And most of the people, when that happens, decide that, hey, you know what, I want to make this my own.
I need some cabinets.
Have you ever? Do you know of any famous people's jets that you've worked
Ooh,
on?
good
like
question.
Rob Lowe,
Ooh, yeah. Have you had Rob Lowe come through?
No, we haven't been that fortunate.
Dweezil
yet.
Zappa.
In the pantheon of famous people, Dweezil Zappa.
Yeah, of
and
course.
Rob Lowe.
Who else do you think of when you say famous people?
I can't think of anyone
Thank
else.
you.
Those are the only 2 I can think of.
That guy from the Sprint commercials. You know,
The former Verizon guy who's now
Yes,
Sprint.
yeah.
Yeah, what a sellout. Am I right?
Piece of shit. The guy's got to have cabinets, though, right?
Right.
No, I haven't worked on any famous peoples that I know of, but I do know that Taylor Swift has had her plane done by us. And
Okay.
we are actively pursuing the Zach Brown band.
Okay.
Wow.
So is like the company that you work for? Are they like? Because again, I feel like it's such a niche thing.
Mm-hmm.
Is it one of the bigger names in airline cabinetry?
I don't know because I only know that. I probably shouldn't give the name out.
You don't have to give the name. I know,
Yeah,
that's fine.
but it's the only name I've ever heard of. So
Wow.
I don't know.
Did you
know.
had you have heard of it before you
No.
worked there?
No, I was happily chugging along at Bass Pro.
Yeah,
I'll say them because I don't really care.
you're a maintenance guy there, right?
Yes, I was.
Did you ever have to get in the tank with all the fish?
No, they had people that did that. I would have totally done it.
I would love to do that.
Yeah, I would have.
Those fish are as big as me. The one as big as me. This is for a Christmas Carol.
Oh,
This is a talk about a turkey.
my bad. Jeff, we watched the Wings pilot.
Oh, yes, we did.
Pilot for Wings. And when you got here, I hugged your wife, and then I said hi to you because she had your hands full. I couldn't hug you. And then you said, I think your exact words were, "So how about that horrible pilot?"
Well,
Ooh.
that's paraphrasing.
Oh,
but-
well, yeah. That's why I said, I think you...
Can't do it.
Yeah. So, am I stepping on your platform or anything?
No, absolutely not. Go right ahead, please.
But I want you, because
do you need some music while you're saying this?
Oh, yeah, sure. Jeff.
Rage out, brother.
Hey, is this the pet peeves? It sounds like my wife's singing.
Yeah. Well,
I'm gonna have to talk.
Sounds
I had no idea she cut
it's-
a record.
It sounds
That's-
like her playing bass, but not singing. I think her voice would be
No,
a
it
lot
sounds like
sweeter,
her singing.
like an angel singing, probably
playing bass.
an angel
Bass Pro Shop.
angel punk band.
Bass Pro Shop.
Give us your love.
You know, that's funny
and
you say that because
Savior.
I did take a picture of me in my Bass Pro shirt and her holding the bass.
Yeah.
And it just said Bass Pros.
Yeah.
So you guys would have got it and probably nobody
I
else.
love that.
I love it.
I love that happened. We need a rating, right?
We need you to rate this because I'm kind of concerned that
That I may never get on this show again.
I'm obviously use a lot of turpentine and varnish and
He's a real
stains.
turpentine head. That's
And
right.
I'm kind of concerned that maybe the fumes have gotten to your head.
Mm-hmm.
What would your rating on this?
Okay, give me is this like
1 to 7.
7 being the
1 to
best?
7 cabinets.
7 being the best or the worst?
Best
Seven's
cabinet.
the best.
I'll
Always.
give it. I'd give this maybe let's say 2.5.
Okay.
Oh man.
I'll write that down.
Okay, that's fine.
Yikes.
Oh my god!
We're at
Are you shocking me through the headphones here?
we're at
We're not shocking you, Jeff.
no, not. We're at Wembley Stadium in front of thousands and thousands of people. Our 200th episode. One of our best, coolest dudes we know.
For sure. Remember we made those soaps that look like candy?
Oh yeah, and Molly used them. Soap bombs. Well, no, there was
They look like Hostess cakes.
Hostess cupcakes.
Yeah, it was
but
awesome.
it was a soap bomb, right?
Grenade, first of all. It was a bath grenade.
I'm sorry, because
Yeah.
copyright.
Copyright, yes, patent pending.
Are you still making soap?
I do. I don't make it as often. Mostly just lack of time.
What are you doing?
Well, he says he doesn't use soap very often.
No, I
anymore.
said I don't make.
Oh, okay.
He uses soap. I
use
use some of it.
So like you have to go to the store and buy it now, or do you have
Not me.
You have a stockpile, right?
I do have a cache.
Do you ever make soap from human fat? And why
Yeah,
not?
I think this is an area where I should probably just say no.
Right,
Okay.
right.
How does one, like hypothetically, Jeff, of course, how does someone acquire human fat?
Well, and this is just off the top of my
Right.
head.
Hypothetically, of course.
You would either befriend somebody and then maybe
Fatten them up?
Put your penis in their butt.
What?
What?
I'm not sure
dude,
that
no,
is it.
that's I don't know who you.
I don't. Well, how do you get soap from that?
Well, something's on there when I'm done.
This is like that guy from. Good lord. What's that? Silence of the Lambs, right? That guy would fatten up those broads.
It makes-
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead, Jeff. You have a stockpile of soap. You're all good to go. You got plenty
well,
of soap.
Jason was asking me a very specific question.
I want to know how to harvest human fat, where to acquire it, because that's a key ingredient sometimes to making soap. Is that correct?
Fat is incredibly essential.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Without fat, you have no soap. You
So-
might have a detergent bar, but don't get me started on those.
I won't believe me.
Okay,
What about
'cause-
vegans? How do they wash up?
They usually just smell bad anyway.
Yeah,
true.
That's true.
Yeah.
I had sex with a couple of those.
What's that?
A couple of vegans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably didn't eat meat.
They have pointy
We-
ears
yeah,
and a
we-
funny haircut. And
We
they
never
just-
went out to dinner, I'll tell you that.
Oh, high five that. I'm glad to hear you're still somewhat. You have a toe dipped into the soap game,
I do. Yes.
and you're headlong.
Is it because you work too many hours, or
Yeah. I mean, it's.
or is it unfun now?
Oh
or?
no, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's not unfun
It's not. It's not unfun. No, it's not unfun.
because you used to go to like local festivals and stuff and sell
Yeah,
your
but
wares,
you know that
right?
just. I mean, that just never really paid for itself.
Yeah. It's more about just sitting in the sun and sweating.
Yeah, or the
Hoping
rain.
your soap
and
didn't melt.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of problems with that? Melting soap?
Good question.
No, soap really doesn't melt.
What kind you're using?
My own exclusive blend of
High-end soaps.
oils.
Right,
and-
yes,
and
true. I've never used
With
high-end soap.
avocado and oatmeal. That's the kind I had anyway
Yeah.
from him.
Good stuff.
Yeah. So 2.5. That seems, or was it 2.5? 2 point? What'd you say?
2.5.
2.5.
And you know the thing is, I haven't seen Wings in. Sad to say, but it's been decades. I mean, this thing came out 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Damn near.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't remember specifically. I watched it fairly regularly and liked it, but I think, and even with the really good shows, I think even the pilots are never very good.
It's tough because usually they make a pilot, and then if someone picks it up, like a network says, "Yeah, we like this," the second episode probably isn't made for like 5-6 months later.
Sure.
And in between then, sometimes they reshoot the pilot. Sometimes they get new cast members. Sometimes the continuity from the original episode doesn't make any sense. So it is a bit of a crapshoot when you make that pilot.
So you're saying that you enjoyed the show as a whole series, but you didn't like the pilot episode.
Yes,
That's more
I
palatable.
won't murder
fine.
you.
How
now.
about- yeah.
I won't murder you.
You were gonna hold on a second. Jeff, take off your headphones for a second.
All right.
You were gonna murder Jeff?
Well, that's what Dave Lytle.
what are you guys talking about? I
No,
can't hear you.
Where is pilot business
I don't know what you're saying.
for a pilot? You were gonna murder Jeff because he didn't like
This
that.
isn't funny. I don't know what's going on here.
But
Right. I
answer me.
Yeah. I mean, that's
You're gonna HBK him?
it's like an HBK.
Wait, why are you making that motion? It's like if I was going to pan
I'm horny. I can't.
Yeah.
That's why I'm doing it.
Sometimes when they
There's-
put the headphones back.
There's
on.
thousands of people in front of me. I'm horny, and I'm just making a motion. You know what? That's what every girl says when I'm done.
Oh yeah, they're happy.
Oh yeah, but you don't have the whole clip. The whole clip is, oh yeah, it's over.
I don't have the whole thing.
I edited it down.
Okay. Well,
It really is that bad. It really is. It really is. It is.
Well, I'm glad that you're here today. It's been.
I'm happy to be
Probably has been, it's been like what, 2 years?
Yeah,
probably?
that's way too
It's
long.
been that long.
Yeah, it has. It has.
I ran into you at the Mediterranean Food Fest at St. Charbel's in Peoria.
Which obviously this means you are a man of impeccable taste.
I appreciate that very much. I do.
Like I didn't see you there.
I wouldn't eat that stuff.
I do love a good grape leaf.
I don't like anything
That's not chicken nugget.
that's not like processed.
Chicken based.
Anything from a different country, I don't like.
You don't need anything that doesn't end in aroni, right?
What it's like
Or os.
having a roan.
The ice for life. What's that?
I said or os.
Yeah, he loves that too.
Sucrose, lactose.
Yeah,
And that's why I'm hoping to die soon, but this
Velcros.
will not work.
yeah, I agree with that 100%.
If I do pass away, there's one thing with my friends,
Right.
my female friends. I always say, if I pass away, you have to promise me you'll wear a big hat to the funeral, like a Kentucky Derby hat, and cry a lot. With the men, I say, bring soap offerings.
Soap offerings.
Yeah, like in front of the casket, put soap offerings.
You could donate your body to me when you die, and
For
I
the
could,
fat, for
I
the
could
fat.
turn you into soap.
Would you have any difficulties or any qualms with cutting my body up or anything?
No,
Nice.
You could live in
I've
infamy.
practiced this many times in my mind. So
You're a soap expert.
mind.
Jeff, you gave me, or I can't remember if I bought or you gave me 2 bars of soap,
I hope I gave it to you.
and there's 2 different kinds. You look at Blake, and he's alive, but somewhat mistaken for being dead.
I'm dead inside.
Oh, that's kind of what I meant. What kind of soap would you turn?
I'm
Blake's
looking at
fat
Blake
into?
and I see like a beer soap.
A beer.
I don't know where that's coming from, but it's just
That's nice.
kind of a hoppy, yeasty soap.
Oh
right?
yeah. Just so to help promote everything to grow.
Would you say he's a stout or an IPA? Perhaps
I'm an IPA guy. All the guy.
perhaps a portor,
I'm a. How about a double IPA soap?
pilsner. What do you think?
IPAs came up kind of after I stopped drinking, so I know it stands for India Pale Ale, but I don't. To me, that just sounds really like conceited. I mean, it's beer, right?
Pilot Pale Ale. That's you. You're a soapy Pilot Pale Ale soap.
Yeah.
That's what I think you are.
I'd make you smell good though.
Thanks. I've been stressed out today, so I'm.
What is your favorite scent? What would you like to be scented as?
Ooh, yeah.
I would say green apple and pomegranate.
There you go. Wow. Can you make that happen? Can you take his disgusting curdling
I could.
fat?
I'd have to compromise a lot of my own integrity to use green apple, but it could be done. I mean, for you, I would do it.
You don't like those 2 cents?
I think
I like him as candy. I mean, Jolly Ranchers I like, but
you could church up green apple by calling it a Granny Smith. I think.
A what?
Granny Smith.
My grandma's dead. Her last name wasn't
That
Smith.
was Granny Virginia, and she was buried with the ashes of a dog, right?
Multiple dogs. 2 dogs. 2 dogs.
Is that the count from Sesame Street?
We're getting going here.
He's off on the Modelos.
We were fine, but now we're not.
You don't have any thunder and lightning sound effects, do you?
Oh my God!
You don't have any
my
sound
kingdom
effects.
for a lightning drop.
The closest we have is the one where the closest drop like that would be the one where I make an important announcement.
Make an announcement. What's your announcement, Blake?
Huh?
What's your announcement?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at Jeff's wife. Wasn't paying attention. I wanted to see her slap at the bass.
I wish she would slap the bass.
When you slap the bass, what do you call her? Hey-o!
Hold on. Hold on a second.
Hey,
Hold on. I got
spousal abuse is a funny joke. I don't know. I mean, thanks. I don't have a special announcement. I just wanted. We haven't played that yet, so.
How do you feel about having all these different guests on and getting all their ratings for the pilot, but you and I have not revealed our
I think
ratings?
it's great. It adds suspense. I mean, we're at Wembley Stadium in London, England. And there's about 7 people left in section 14.
We're not applauding in British. That's not British.
How do you applaud in British?
I just. Well, they don't say that. They don't
Right.
That's
They
just one
say,
guy.
like, blimey.
Yeah, that's it.
Right bleeding. Stuff like that.
We should have looked up British sound effects.
We should have.
So if I turn the tables just
Please,
for a second,
please.
Blake, how do you feel?
How do you sleep at night?
About Wings, the pilot?
I can't talk about it till the end. We
Okay.
made a solemn vow at the beginning. We spit on our hands, rubbed our wieners together, and then said we can't say it until the end. So,
Jason, I'm going to ask you just because I don't want to have you feel left out.
I like it.
How
I
do
like
you
Wings.
feel? Okay. The podcast.
I broke the vow.
Podcast, the pilot.
I like the podcast Wings. You know who I like? That Linda McCartney.
who's that? Paul's wife?
Yeah.
She was the one that could sing between the two. of them.
Absolutely.
She's missing a leg, right?
No, that was another lady later.
Was that a different wife?
Linda McCartney is Paul Weiss.
Paul Weiss? Paul Weiss ball cop?
God,
Paul Blart's blood fart.
I think I have been drinking. The secret's out, guys. I'm a lot.
You're a real booze hound.
Yeah, I just
You come to the Clayton house, might as well throw your sobriety out the door.
Yeah, I think I just got drunk off of being near Blake. So
I heard something yesterday, and I want to try it. It's called a wine enema, and I want to try it.
well, you offered my wife one of those when she came in.
I thought
you'd had one.
I thought every punk rock bass player had.
You ran towards her with a bottle of wine screaming.
Okay.
I ran right toward his wife with a wine enema.
Yeah, but see, maybe you don't understand, but like, wine is not punk, as far as I know. I mean, you're going to have to go
boxed wine. Hello.
Well, you didn't say that.
Hello.
I mean, wine.
Well, I'm not going to use expensive wine
Well, how
and
would
put
I
it up
know?
my butthole.
Butthole Boone's Farm. Right?
Ooh, you remember Bartles and James? I used to have a Bartles and James cutout of the two old guys. The two
Why
old
would you
guys.
ever own that?
I don't know how I got it, but I was like maybe like 10 or 11, and I had it.
Wasn't there like bits in the bottle? Like, wasn't there like particles of stuff?
Grapes or whatever?
Yeah, I thought there was.
don't know.
Like,
Grape leavings?
I don't think it. Well,
I don't know.
yeah.
But yeah, I used to have that same. I don't know how I got it either.
We're going to do Twitter responses.
Twitter response. Oh wait, hold on. You want me to do a punk?
Yeah, hold on. You want me to do any music?
Yeah. I need some music for it. I'm just letting it get. Twitter responses, down with the government. Twitter responses. Jason, did you get some Twitter responses?
Oh, holy guacamole, did we ever.
You did?
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
It's been months since you've gotten some.
I've got some. No, that's not necessarily true. We got some Twitter responses from what I would call another round of Couch Pilots All Stars. The first one comes from Brad Mockery. Now, you might remember him as one of the child actors from the Fox children's program about superheroes called Power Pack.
Yeah.
Brad Mockery, he didn't know, but he is the only live interview we have done on this show
That's true.
with an actor. And I say what I say to everyone who... Actually, that's not true. I tweaked it a little bit for the 200th episode. Basically, what I said is, hey, Brad Mockery, greetings from the Couch Pilot podcast. We are celebrating 200 episodes and wanted to say thank you for your engagement with the show. Your interview was fantastic, and we really enjoyed having you on. Thank you, and continued success to you. He didn't necessarily respond, but he did like our tweet.
Oh, nice.
It gets better.
Oh.
Another
Nicer than a like?
Absolutely, yeah.
What button is that?
Nicer than the least amount of work you can do. That's right.
That's what my wife says.
Next up is one of our other faithful listeners, someone who's chimed in quite a bit in the past. It's a fellow that goes by the name Travis Heimel.
Yes, Travis Heimel. He has a comic book.
He's a comic book artist.
Yeah,
and he had a Kickstarter that we promoted here on the show.
Sure, and that's why they went over the top and were successful, is because of all of our help.
Well, we'll hear more about that in a second. But I said, thank you for your engagement with the show. Please feel free to drop us a line and give us an update on Lucha. Take care and continued success to you. Now, Lucha was a comic book they had a Kickstarter for about masked Mexican wrestlers as kind of like super
Superheroes.
spies.
Yeah.
Well, like spies almost,
Okay.
right?
Spies like us?
Spies like us. That's exactly right. He says, hi, Captains. Congrats on the 200th episode. Without listening to you guys, working on comic pages would be a lot more boring, even though I cringe every time Blake makes fun of comic book stuff every now and then.
I don't make fun of comic books. I make fun of nerds.
You do make fun of nerds. He says, oh, and bad news about the book. Outside of the first issue, I'm not sure if the rest of the series that was done will be published. However, I'm currently working on a new project for a publisher and will share some stuff on it soon. I said, I hope the rest of Lucha gets published. It's a really cool idea, and the art is fantastic. We look forward to what you're up to next. I'll tell Blake to lay off the nerd bashing. Take care.
Nice.
So thank you,
I'm
Travis.
I'm glad he. I mean, it sounds like he has something in the pipe hole to continue.
If there's one thing I remember about Travis Heimel is that he always has something in the pipe hole.
Hey, I mean, when we used to hang out in high school, it was,
You're a pipe hole guy, right?
Travis Pipehole.
Is that his name?
Yeah, we just called him Travis Pipehole.
It's not Heimel. It's pipe hole.
Pipehole.
That's all right. The next, and this one is you'll like this a lot. I sent another tweet here. I said, "Greetings from Couch Pilots Podcast. You had sent us a DVD copy of Super Clyde, and we also watched Fugly. Both great. We are celebrating 200 episodes and want to say thank you for your engagement in our silly program. We look forward to season 3 of the guest book."
Yes.
And this is for writer and producer Greg Garcia. The man responsible for My Name is Earl, the man responsible for Raising Hope, and TBS's recent show, The Guest Book.
And also Hobo Blood Fart.
And yes, he did.
If you look up on right over there.
In promotion for season 2 of season 2 of Guest Book, his TBS comedy, he asked his Twitter followers to write a caption of some sort. I wrote Hobo Camp Blood Fart. We won. He signed a poster and sent it to us. That is true. Anyway, Greg Garcia, a genuine.
He was like one of the first people to like really interact with us because he had sent us.
He sent a very long email about like the casting process and
Sure.
running it through viewers and what they thought of it.
And the only time you ever got mail.
One of the only times we've ever got mail, is an actual DVD from him. But he is a big time producer of mainstream and network and cable comedies.
Right.
He says, "Thanks. I wish I had better news on Guest Book. No season 3. But I'll end up doing something next. Hopefully, it doesn't end up on your podcast." Smiley face, wink.
Nice.
I said, sorry to hear that. It was a great show, and I loved your involvement with your fans via Twitter. Thanks again for everything, and good luck with your next project. We'll be watching.
Great.
So there's some very nice
Sure.
200th episode Twitter responses. I think we're about ready to break down the pilot, but before we do so, I do want to say a quick thank you to Jeff for being here.
Thank you for having me, and I wish I could get my wife to shut up, but she's here.
She's here in spirit and physically.
I muted her. You came into the cockpit and you were like, oh, I just, she's used to be in punk bands. She talks a lot, and let's just
Real chatty Kathy.
Yeah. And her name's not even Kathy.
Mm-hmm.
And just push mute. So I mean, I did what Jeff said. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen him with a knife before. I'm not.
I'm going to take this one for the both of you because on the way home,
Thank you.
I'll text you when I get home. If you don't hear,
If
from
you
me,
make it home.
if
Right.
if you don't hear from me,
R.I.P. GEF or JEF, right?
JELLO.
Jeff, I hope it's not 2 more years before you're here again.
I hope so,
Seriously,
too.
no, yeah, we enjoy having you on. So don't make it so long.
I love you guys.
Thank you very much.
love
We
you
love
too.
you too.
I love you. Thanks. I can't. No.
Jeff Simpson, the soap man himself.
You know what? We just talked about off air. I'm going to go over and make soap. You want to go over and make soap with him one time?
I want to somehow liposuction the fat from me, make soap from that, and then wash my body with my own leave-ins. And I think we have a guest who's willing to sacrifice some of his own flesh for the same cause.
I got a lot of it. A lot of fat.
Folks, that voice, you know that voice. That is the voice of Karaoke Big E. Is the one and only who originally was the bouncer for IBWIP. It's Big E.
Woohoo! And I also dove deep to the bottom of the sea and recovered the second pachinko machine.
third.
There
The
second one, and restored it.
Great. You know what? I forgot all about that. We have so much canon we don't remember it all.
A lot of fodder.
What? Watch your mouth.
Yeah. Come on, this is a PG show. My mom was on this show.
She was.
That's not the only
And
guest
she
we
heard
have.
Lori Garcia say "motherfucker."
Yeah, Lori Garcia is. I got a dirty mouth. I'll tell you that much.
You know what to say about dirty mouth?
Dirty smile.
Oh, okay.
Orbits will clean a dirty mouth.
Ooh.
We have 2 guests for this segment that are kind of like day one legends, early guests, just super solid friends of the show.
Sure.
Wouldn't you say so?
When you know you want to have a good show, there's a couple people you call.
It's always fun to switch it
You
up.
call,
And then
you
when
call
they
Kevin,
can't do it.
and
You call Kevin, and then you call anybody else, and then us too.
no,
You call the American dream.
oh
You
yeah,
call nothing Rose. Rose. What is it? Times is, baby.
There we go.
So we got Scott here from Karaoke Big E, but we also have another one of our favorites, and that's a fella. He used to go by the name The Voice, but now it's just Dustin.
Just Dustin.
just Dustin. And last 2 segments ago when Kevin was on, we heard Hoover, who was with you guys when you were doing the Ernest podcast.
We're still doing it.
Still
Yeah.
doing it. It's in a transitional phase.
oh,
Right
so
now.
it's getting his penis cut off.
Yeah.
By the time you hear this, I think that specific show, the importance of seeing Ernest, will be over, but we'll be transitioning into a new project.
Oh, really?
Stay tuned next year,
Oh.
2020.
Still Ernest related.
Oh, great. That's cool.
Yep.
No, I Dustin has been doing shows with us. It was just recently.
we just had my podiversary.
Is that 5 years?
5 years. Yeah.
believe it, yeah.
So which means that I got to be coming in close because he was
About
on
probably four.
He was on the Valentine's Day episode, and I was
It
about
was-
2 or 3 episodes later. It was me. So
episode 151 or 152 of IBWIP.
was with the plunger on that.
Hashtag dildo plunger.
Yeah, the plunger
was
on the
my
cover.
Original
You and I,
appearance.
Blake, when you and I were scheduling this show, we're talking about everyone who said yes, I will be a part of the show.
Right.
And we took all those people and we kind of spread them out. And I said, we can't do 10 minutes apiece with each of these people. We have to pair them up.
Sure.
This is the pair I wanted. More than any other pair that we've had so far or will have to the end of the show. This
And
is
your
the-
mom was even
and
on.
even my mom.
And daughter were paired together.
I don't care about them. I don't really have a need for them in my life. I've taken from them whatever I can. These 2 people are the people that I wanted on the most together because I feel like this is a core group of podcasting guys that goes back a long ways.
Been a while.
It's been a while for sure. And I, honestly, I don't think that all of us have been in a room doing this together for a while.
Yeah.
Sure.
it
Been
has
a minute.
been a while.
This is if somebody took a picture of this right now, I would say it was like an IBWIP episode.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
IBWIP, the old show, it burns one IP. That you did 299 episodes with. I did some of those with you, and Dustin and Scott did a bunch of those. And this is kind of a little bit of a reunion of that, but also kind of a push to the future for not only our show, but all of us together as podcasters.
Sure, definitely.
So I'm very excited to have both of these guys here, both who are continuing in podcasting. It started with IWIP, and we all spurred off to do our own
And
things.
said, this thing is fucking boring. I want to do my own shit.
not at all.
And then Dustin took it way overboard.
He said, I'll just do
47.
47 different podcasts.
No,
I got
that's
a
awesome.
lot to say.
Well, actually, go ahead. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Sure.
You have how many? You've had 5 or 6 podcasts total.
Well, when we started the FCF network, RIP, rest in Parkinson's, it was IBWIP, and then you guys had the Couch Pilots idea. We had Heather.
Sex with Heather.
Sex with Heather. And then you told me I needed to come up with my own show. and that ended up being Drunken Lullabies.
Right.
Originally with Beer Mansky for the first
Beer
year.
Mansky, former guest of the show, since his ban from the studio was lifted a couple years.
He wasn't invited today. He wasn't able to make it.
He hasn't been on my show in a long time either. It's okay. And then, from that, Drunk at the Movies started.
You were doing both those in tandem. You were producing so much content week after
At
week.
one point, I had 4 shows going at once.
It was those 2, and you had Craft Beer Digest.
Craft Beer Digest, and then Dishing Disney.
Those are the 4 that overlapped.
And then Importance of Seeing Ernest. But
Yeah.
Craft Beer Digest had ended, and Drunken Lullabies had ended. So
Well,
technically, there's only 3 active shows right now.
And Drunk at the Movies is kind of coming out intermittently for the future.
Yeah, we're not doing it every week or every other week. It's with the upcoming project we have. There's going to be a lot of my attention and time put into that. So
Can we talk at all
This
about
is
that
a
or
big
not?
production. I mean, it sounds like.
I'm fine with talking about it in brief amounts.
Let me do
When does this come out? What is the date of release?
September 30th.
30th, and depending how the show lands,
'Cause
maybe
we-
the week after that too is splitting up the 2
We
episodes.
will have already talked about it on the Ernest
Right.
bonus episode, which comes out on the 15th.
So
So it's
you
fair
do,
game.
You do Dishing Disney with Brianna, your girlfriend that you live
Correct.
with.
Doing it tonight. That's
And then
why I got a split.
The Importance of Seeing Ernest is with you and I. And then Kevin had a video earlier from Hoover boss, Derek Hoover,
Yep.
who is on the show with us. And he sent a little special message to you and I for the 200th episode, which
And
is
a dig on
fantastic.
Dustin.
And a little bit of a dig on Dustin. Tune in to find out.
Okay, great.
It was funny.
I just worked with that asshole earlier.
It's about
But-
13 hours into the show. I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm
Can't
sorry
wait.
to derail from what we're doing, but just as a way to interact with Dustin here, we do the Importance of Seeing Ernest, where we talk about Ernest P. Worrell, the Jim Varney character.
Hayvern guy.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean. That guy. Ernest goes to camp.
I do
Ernest
know
is
what you mean.
and
He's on TV.
and also with you. We've done is it 17, 18 episodes of that?
Yeah.
And we do it once a month. And in the course of that, Dustin has put so much effort and work into that. He's actually contacted the people who created the Ernest character.
Yep.
And we are now talking with them on a regular basis via text string.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like the guy that played the barber in the,
On the
TV,
TV show.
show and played one of the chefs in Ernest Goes to Camp.
That's crazy.
The Eggs Erroneous guy.
Yeah,
I was on there.
Mr. Eggs Erroneous himself texts us
Yeah.
on a very regular basis.
Really?
There is so much information and kind of projects that didn't come to fruition that I think the new show is going to be looking a lot at that and really trying to work with the creators of the Ernest and everyone in that Ernest universe and just kind of promote it going forward
Yeah.
and say this is what could have been. This is some inside information that maybe we didn't necessarily get to
It's
on the importance of
20
seeing
years
Ernest.
after Jim Varney passed.
So
Yeah.
it's going to be 2019. Who do you guys want to be Jim Varney?
Nobody.
No, but so nobody can
No.
do it.
Well, you say that, and I do agree, but the guy who's come closest, oddly enough, John Cena, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, really?
John Cena in his old age, there have been pictures, and you can Google
Yeah.
this, side by sides, where it looks like Jim Varney as the character of Ernest, and
And he has a new
John
movie
Cena.
coming out where he plays a firefighter that does involve some kids, some
Yeah.
children, and some slapstick comedy. So we will kind of get a little bit
Yes.
of John Cena in an Ernest type situation. So this will be to see if it works or not.
John-
So there's no comparison, but if it push come to shove, I act like I haven't done this before. Push comes to shove, John Cena.
For me, maybe. I honestly, I think he puts down the steroids, he puts down the weights, he takes off the jorts, he puts on the denim vest, he puts on the khaki cap. I don't know. I think he has the physical. Like he could be the next Ernest if they wanted to continue it.
I just got to say, I can't see him as Ernest.
That's a good one.
John Cena.
I don't know. I don't know if that's ever going to be a thing. I don't know that there will ever be an Ernest project going forward with a different actor portraying that character.
You can't. You can't.
But there's still a lot of information to be mined from that character. And Dustin and I and Derek, we're going to be working towards that. Mainly Dustin. He does most of the work.
I've already been reading these spec scripts and stuff.
That
and
we are sent spec scripts from the creators.
That's crazy.
Of the
that
Ernest
Disney
character.
passed on.
Yeah.
That's
Things
crazy.
they didn't want to put out, and I'm now reading about Ernest Saves the Space Dogs.
Ooh.
Blake, I figure that's one that would pique your interest.
Oh, I'm all about. I love space and I love dogs.
Yeah.
Well, we
Put
will
'em together?
probably do a show.
And I
all
promise
about
I will be sober when I come and do your show because the last time and the only time I did the Ernest podcast, I got too drunk.
it. Well, yes, you definitely.
apologize for that.
did. You
I-
couldn't find your keys that were in
I
your
was
pocket.
I was not being disrespectful. I just lost control of my inner self.
Well, this next show will be a lot more family
Yes,
friendly.
this will be a PG show.
so
Okay, well, I can't
we
do
may
that.
not even have guests.
Well, there you go. We're here because of one thing, and it's the 200th episode of Couch Pilots, and we watched.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We watched the pilot episode of Wings.
Have you guys already discussed it?
We are ready. We've discussed a lot about it, but we have not broke it down.
Little fact: me and Dustin were around for what episode of IBWIP? 200. We were there at the live show.
We did a live show
that
for
was fun,
200.
wasn't it?
And the high note.
We also did the Golden Girls pilot
100.
for episode
Episode
100.
Are we great at pairing people?
These are the guys we wanted for episode 100. It makes total sense that
Sure.
they've been our friends all the way through. Why not get them back for 200 in this same pairing burp?
Sorry, that was wet.
It was a wet burp.
Yeah.
Very unflattering.
Things aren't going well right now.
Do you want to do the aviation question of the day?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Guys, sometimes we break up the show. It used to be commercials, and then it was kind of maybe like a movie monologue or something, and then maybe old commercials. But now we've taken a look at what do we do best? We fly the friendly skies.
Yes. Phoenix Online, RIP.
I don't know about that.
My degree is not good anymore.
David just got his pilot's license from there.
I just meant RIP in regards to we are done with them because we got in so much trouble.
David Lytle?
Yeah.
David Lytle got his. We didn't even talk about
We didn't
that.
know. Didn't know anything about it. But we got in trouble. We went to the Phoenix Online class reunion.
Yeah.
Jason.
Well,
we had some problems.
Very shameful.
And we both got a letter in the mail that said, "Hey, you're no longer your license is fine. You know, your credits are fine, but you're no longer can be associated.
You're not affiliated
with." Thank you.
Did you guys do fan feedback earlier?
We did some fan
yeah,
feedback.
Did you talk about Dee Dee's her little comment on the thing?
Huh?
Did you read Dee Dee's comment that she put in the Couch Pilots 200 thing?
Oh no, I didn't.
Yeah, she was talking about that very fact of what you were just talking about. You guys getting in trouble with.
While you're pulling it up, let me ask the aviation question of the day. Dulles Airport is named after a former U.S. Secretary of State. What is the person's full name?
Frederick Douglass. Stephen Douglas.
Stephen Douglas Dulles. Okay.
You have got me by the balls. I have no idea.
You
said
Dulles?
Dulles?
Yeah, like Dulles, Fort Worth. you know.
Dallas.
No, Dulles. No, Dulles is that Washington? That's Washington area, right? Dulles.
Don't know.
Dulles.
I don't know
stumped.
Dulles.
I don't know what's going on right now.
John Foster Dulles.
John Foster Douglas.
Very good.
Dustin, I'm going to ask you this real
What's
quick
up?
because supposedly there was some strife on one of our recent episodes of Couch Pilots because we said Orlando. Do you know anything about this?
Yeah, I'm 3 weeks behind, so I don't know.
Okay.
That was related to an aviation question about the top 5 busiest airports.
Okay.
And ORD was one that we could not figure out.
Okay, so
You said Orlando, I believe.
Oh.
yeah, and ORD is O'Hare.
Okay.
right?
I guess.
I'm pretty sure
I mean, we don't fly into
you
O'Hare.
got, you got the airport code wrong, I believe.
That's the problem.
Okay.
and you guys
All
are
right.
pilots, but
But we don't go to
granted,
every airport. We don't use codes.
Phoenix University.
Dustin, would we love to go to every airport? Absolutely.
Yeah,
Do we have the time?
Not at all.
LAX.
We basically
Been there, done that.
we fly out of Mount Holly Airport.
PIA.
Every Monday.
No, Fakakta FCF network.
Well,
headquarters.
it's been bought out because
Okay.
we had to sell it to pay for the debt. But it's now Mount Holly Airport, and we fly out there and we come back. So we don't really pay attention to ORFs and GRTs and such.
Have you guys both seen the pilot episode of Wings?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to do a little something special. I'm going to move it up to 15 minutes today.
What?
And then we're going to have 15 minutes to break down.
There's so many rules being broken on this episode.
Wow, that's
15 minutes
Jeez.
for a 22-minute pilot.
Right.
that's right. So let's go ahead and
we
start
got the script right here. Okay.
Blake, why don't you start us off?
Joe walks into the hangar. It's all quiet, and he goes over and he's touching the plane. He gives it a kiss,
Sensually.
Very.
and he says,
It's a single small plane in this hangar.
"Yeah," and he says, "God, I love you." And then you hear Lowell Mathers say, "Thank you."
Lowell Mather.
First question: where are they flying these people in these little puddle jumpers?
They're just going over
So they're
all,
just
all the
like-
islands of
Okay.
Boston and
All right.
Nantucket, and it's just
They're probably like $30, $40
He's like
tickets.
puts his hands.
Sure.
He goes, "You can almost feel this plane wanting to
Just
take
take off.
This is Joe Hackett, played by Tim Daly. He is very...
Is he not on the scale, right?
He's absolutely on
Yeah,
the scale.
he's-
He's number
Which one?
5.
Five, okay,
No, he's number
okay.
4. He's right
Okay,
down the
gotcha.
middle. Because he's even keeled.
He is
He's right
even
down the
keeled.
middle. Number 4. Joe is really taken with being a pilot. He loves it. It's almost spiritual to him, this job and what he does.
And I thought about this and I didn't do it, but I thought about cutting out his speech and audio,
His
and
monologue.
and playing it because that's the way me and you are. I mean, it's not just taking a piece
not just
of
a job.
It's not just a job. It's not just taking
It's
a
an
piece
adventure.
of metal up into the air.
It's a way of life.
It's a way of life. I mean, there has meaning to it.
That's absolutely
If
right.
you need a guy to edit that, I know somebody. But I'm not editing
You're
this
the edit-
episode.
you'll be editing it.
You don't want this. You don't want none of this.
Lowell, he's talking about the love of that. He's like, hey, that's how I feel when I go and shoot rats at the dump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And already there's a laugh track. We get it's the 90s.
This was not filmed in front of a live studio audience?
Nope.
Because it's pretty much one set, so it could be.
Yeah, there's not. There's the hangar. There's the main airport area, which is all
and then there's
interconnected.
And then the cabin.
And then they're in the cabin
That's
of the
true.
plane.
So that could be.
This is a show that I did not watch. Sorry.
No, you're fine.
This is a show that I did not watch on a regular basis. But
Same.
It was kind of weird of listening to you guys for so long and the characters, and then you watch it and you go, "That's Lowell, man." Oh, that's
Fayette.
Oh, I thought you were going to
Yeah.
say when the credits rolled and the
No.
theme song kicked in, and I just kept waiting for
Oh, I did it.
Jason.
No, I
to come
totally.
in.
When we were sitting here watching the pilot, as soon as I was like, "Ah, yes."
Here's what I found out. There's more to that song.
Oh yeah, yeah. So the iconic intro starts, and it's got beautiful scenery. It's soft. It's gentle.
like
don't-
Crystal Bernard's body.
I don't use
Isn't
this
that her
word
name?
very much, but
I forgot how good looking she was. I mean, sorry to bring the show down.
she's a cute little girl. That's for sure. The intro, masterful.
Yes,
Right.
and at the end of it, the iconic. To me, there's not many shows that have a logo
right.
that is iconic. Mostly in the 90s.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yes.
That's
Frasier.
We were talking to David
Friends.
Lytle earlier about how
Courtney Cox.
important logos are,
Ren and
classic
Stimpy.
logos, and absolutely does Wings have a logo. Did you say Ren and Stimpy? That's a good one.
Simpsons. Yeah.
Well, these are later on.
They're
But
all
the-
90s shows.
But during the intro, you got shots of the setting sun over the ocean as a plane flies by. There's some clouds. The quiet island town of Nantucket. Shots of that are shown. And then as the intro stops, the plane lands.
was Lowell Mather the man from Nantucket that I heard about as a kid?
There once was.
Yeah,
They had a
there
long.
was this
This
man.
so
was so
long
big
they
he
could do
could
things
suck
with
It
it.
was Lowell Mather.
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Well, they said his family's 5 generations.
We're at Tom
His uncle's name was
Neversfield.
Marshall.
And it's a tiny airport. And then Faye, the old lady at the
Old
counter,
lady Faye.
she makes an inappropriate announcement, and she's like, "Hey Joe, this is your airline. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't matter if you're going to be a little bit late." Joe flies people, and he also flies other things,
Yeah,
such as
cargo,
lobsters.
lobster.
Cargo, yeah,
The lobsters got to get there alive.
absolutely.
Doesn't matter about the people.
But right here, Faye is already giving you 2 zingers. Like
Oh, yeah.
in her first, she's giving. So you know she's going to be that's her role in this show.
Yeah.
Is,
She's the golden girl.
yeah, yeah. Very
Every
good.
main character, at some point or another, will have a story that revolves around them, and a story. Most of the time, it's going to be about the Hackett brothers.
Right.
Every once in a while, Faye will have a story about her, but in the meantime, to keep her relevant, to give her something to do, she's coming in there with those zingers.
Right,
baby.
and then in and out, just
Yeah.
boom, boom.
Yeah.
And then we meet Roy Biggins, who is Roy Biggins. Right, he's a 1. He's the rival airline, and he comes out and he's eating food from. He's like, "Hey, I got a package for you from a lawyer." And he's like, well, how long have you had this? He's like, I don't know. And I noticed this.
I've got 6 planes. You got one. I'm not the post office.
Right.
Yep.
I noticed this that I guess I never thought about it, or maybe never. Roy wears some of the most hideous clothes ever.
Later on, he gets dug on about it as well.
It's just he's just a fat, hot, slimy, sweaty guy.
He's a big fat guy. He looks greasy. He's supposed to be tacky. This is
of
all part of his character.
Reminds me of the guy from Last Man on Earth without being a jerk.
Someone said that. Did you say that earlier when we were watching
somebody
that?
did out there.
Yeah. When we were watching the pilot, someone did mention that. Absolutely. And yeah, like you said, Scott, he has 6 planes to Joe's one. So he's got the Aeromass is the name of his airline, and it is bigger. It's a bigger operation than Joe's. It's just Joe's pretty much just him and Faye, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and he's just got the one plane. He just goes from, and then we meet Helen Chapel, and she is the owner operator of the snack bar, I guess,
little lunch counter.
Yeah. And right off the bat, you can see she has a southern accent,
And she knows Joe very well because Joe goes to order a sandwich.
Biblically?
Yeah. What's that?
Biblically?
No, not biblically.
No.
They make note of that. He does not know her that way. She's more like a sister to Joe.
Yeah. So Joe has this package that Roy's given to him, and he can't open it. He cannot open it without his brother. His father has passed away. He cannot
Buddy
open
Hackett.
Buddy Hackett.
Yeah.
That's their father.
Buddy Hackett.
Joe, Brian, and Buddy. That's right.
Well, so you're getting to the Brian part. Are we under the assumption that this is a family of pilots? Was their father a pilot as well?
It doesn't say it.
You would almost think that if both sons,
if one owns his own
Airline.
but it's never really said.
It's
though.
never really.
right, and the other one is a pilot.
Mom was a stewardess.
Probably. But we also find out that their dad has a lot of get rich quick schemes that never work.
Sure.
He says you need to be with your estranged brother Brian if you're going to open this thing. So he's like, all right. So we find out then that Joe's ex-wife left him for his brother Brian.
Carol.
Yeah, and
You hear
that's
about
that's why they were.
Carol.
Now, was it a
spying.
wife or was it just a childhood girlfriend and then
It might have been a girlfriend.
And
I
then
don't know if it was a wife.
she
I feel like it
decided
was
to
his
choose
wife.
the other
Really?
brother?
He was a cute young man.
Young man.
Not that Carol.
And Helen is there. She's like, hey, you know what? Your dad died. He left you this thing. The only way you're going to get to this thing is
Right.
with your brother. Reconcile with Brian.
Sure, call him.
They all grew up together. Reconcile with him. And so in the next scene, you got Roy and Helen talking about like topical stuff I don't know about. What were they said like Joan London. Did they mention Joan London? Is it?
Oh, they were talking
Jane
about
Pauley.
Jane
yeah, they were
Pauley.
talking about who replaced who, but this was back in
It was a very topical of the
Of
moment.
that time, yeah.
Like it was like a NBC
topical enough.
News
Your
or
mom
something.
laughed about it.
My mom was all over that. Brian Hackett then arrives, and he kind of he says, "Let me talk to the guy in charge of Aeromass. I'm very excited to meet him." And he does, and then he proceeds to badmouth Roy's airline.
And Roy is freaking out because all his
yeah, 'cause
passengers
all-
are leaving.
yes.
Yeah, there's no life
Could-
jackets under the seats
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff like
Could
that.
a production company put two guys together that aren't related that look very similar?
You think Joe and Brian? Look
I absolutely.
Yeah.
I had the two confused because when the show first started, I mistook not Brian, but Joe for the current principal on the series 13 Reasons Why
I'm
on
not familiar
Netflix.
with that.
Well, Brian is the principal on 13
so
Reasons Why.
you mistook during the pilot Tim Daly for
Steven
modern
Weber.
day Steven Weber.
Yes.
Yeah.
But now when Steven Weber come in, I was like, that's the guy.
Yeah.
But they do look very similar.
They're both template, kind of stamped out template white guys. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Why couldn't they?
Yeah,
be
and
related?
Brian even has flip flops on during this pilot, and it actually bugged me that he had flip flops on.
Why is that?
Yeah.
They were just showing his carefree.
Put a
that
closed
he's totally
toe
opposite
shoe
of his
on.
brother.
I know, but
In
I
a
was,
plane? Come
Yeah,
on.
I mean-
Nobody wants to smell your
Right.
feet.
And
Well-
the agony of defeat.
It's as soon as he arrives, Joe is kind of watching him from above and seeing how he interacts with everything. It's like typical old Brian, and it's clear to see that Joe is the uptight one, and Brian is kind of the Hawaiian shirt,
laid back,
unbuttoned,
wild guy.
He's the
freewheeling.
Launchpad McQuack.
Absolutely, that's not bad. So Joe and Brian have a conversation that kind of spans the whole airport. They're like kind of talking very loud over a pass. It's kind of obnoxious
Sure.
and dumb because people don't talk like that, right? Anyway, Brian and Helen then reunite. He sees her that she's working the counter, and he's like, "Hey, I've been flying to the Caribbean," and Helen's like, "I lost 60 pounds," and it's very clear that Brian's like, hey, kind of
Right.
He's got the
You look pretty
proverbial
good.
Spin around for me.
Yeah.
the Metamilk Bonier.
Yeah.
absolutely. Thank you.
It
for
isn't
that.
this where he says the line, I like to take that little tyke. I like to give that little tyke a bath.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Well, that's after Joe said she's like a sister.
oh,
yeah,
yeah,
a little
yeah.
sister.
And I was like,
Sister.
when I heard that, I was like, that's fucked
It
up.
was fucking weird. And your mom even said that. Your mom's
There's
like,
a couple lines.
Your
in
mom,
this pilot.
your mom goes, that would not fly
No,
today.
I think my mom commented after Brian said the line later about
Hooters.
Yes,
That's what
yeah,
I
your
was
mom said that
thinking.
too. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
it didn't age well. Right?
Yeah. So Joe and Brian step into Joe's office to kind of go over their inheritance, and Brian is really giving Joe a hard time about being so uptight
OCD.
and organized.
So this means we know what character you relate to.
Why is there an empty sticker on an empty cabinet?
I pushed for Joe to be the seventh.
Yeah, you
the
did.
best.
You did.
Yeah. But you said it's Brian, and I said that's fine. I get it. Because again, Brian is the number 4 on our scale of 1 to 7, and 4 is right down the middle, and that's who he is. He's
Right.
the
Joe.
right down the middle, even Stevens, even keeled guy. Anyway, Brian believes their dad was rich and left them a fortune.
Safe deposit box.
Yeah, there's a key to a safety
Okay,
deposit box.
I called bullshit on this immediately because I work for a bank.
Let's hear it.
If you have a key to a safe deposit box, it does not grant you immediate access to said box. You have to be listed on the box or as an executor to an estate.
Okay.
That takes days of paperwork, and they would have to turn in a death certificate and all this kind of stuff
W-2,
with the bank.
a W-9.
Yeah, and a
Passport.
of course, and Band-Aids.
Blood work.
And,
Ooh, Band-Aids.
Ooh, and
and if none of that's been done, he should not
be able to.
Courtney
access.
Cox has to be there too.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, that's some expertise knowledge we didn't know.
Yeah.
Right there. Joe steps out of his office, and then Brian he stays back and he calls Carol, the very same woman that left Joe for Brian, and Brian says to Carol, "Hey, I'm getting some cash.
Yeah,
I
he's-
really miss you. I want you
He's
back."
talking to her voicemail.
I want you back.
And no one knows at this point that they're not together.
Splitsville.
So the next scene, Joe and Brian return from having checked out the safety deposit box, and they're ready to open it. They jimmy it open with a screwdriver from Lowell, and there's another key in it. And this one happens to be to a box somewhere in
A
Boston.
post office.
Also, when you have a safe deposit box, you don't bring the entire box back.
No, you
with
don't?
you.
No,
You
I-
don't?
You usually
No.
leave that at the
I
bank.
was
That's
assuming.
like property of the bank.
I was assuming that box was
Was in a
inside.
box. A
Was
box in a
inside
box?
this. Yeah,
A box within a box?
Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you open it at the bank?
like a cat.
Because that's another set they have to build.
Yeah, why save it to come all the way back to Nantucket?
Fuck
There
it.
once was a box in Nantucket.
Yep.
And they're like, this is for something in Boston. And Faye's like, hey, Joe, you got a flight to Boston. It's like, all right, we'll go to Boston. I'll do the flight. And while we're there, we'll check
We'll go
it
to the
out.
post office.
Say hi to your mother.
They come back.
Say hi to your mother.
They're both frustrated. They come back. They went on a wild goose chase. The post office box sent them to something else, something else, and then they have a key. And you know where we went to next? No, because we don't know where this fucking key goes.
Yep.
And you would think that Joe would know that this is a key for the airport, his
right.
business.
We
is
find out
there.
there's some lockers upstairs where Joe was first seeing Brian as he arrived.
First of all, weird setup for a small, tiny airport.
I am a longtime viewer of the program Wings, and that upstairs really doesn't come into play a lot going
no,
forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's like
It was for this and maybe a little bit in the future, but yeah. Not,
Lowell had to get off the phone with his mother
yeah.
to open up. Hey, check to see if this is fits locker number 5, Lowell.
It turns out that Brian was fired from his gig as a charter in the Caribbean, which he was talking about
Probably
earlier.
for wearing flip flops.
Yeah,
Probably.
no doubt.
It's fucking gross.
And Joe kind of like lets him have. He's like, "You got a history of blowing all these great opportunities, including NASA. You could have been an astronaut."
And I didn't remember that.
I didn't remember that
I didn't
either.
remember that at all. That he had got accepted to the NASA program. Could have
I
been-
didn't know I couldn't bring my date.
Right? Yeah, it was kind of douchey.
Joe and Brian then argue in the plane some more about the paths of their lives have taken.
And there's a guy right behind him who's a passenger, and it reminds me of everybody who listens to this this podcast.
out.
They're just like, you guys don't do this. Don't do this.
Are you talking about Frightened Passenger,
Yeah.
played by Tori Hansen?
he is represented by a group called the Gray Talent Group. I tried to contact him to get a hold of him. Nothing.
He's probably dead.
With any luck, he's dead.
No, he's still alive. You may have seen him in the background on Chicago Fire.
I may have.
Oh, actually, he's been on for 5 years. So
They have
On Chicago Fire?
Yeah, apparently.
They come up with a final key when they get back to the airport. They're like, I don't know where this key goes. There's no more information.
And
I
there's
can't
more
figure it out.
bitching. There's another monologue
Yelling
about
at each other.
About Carol.
Yeah, they finally kind of hash it out once and for all over the wife situation.
and
That's because... No, go ahead.
No, if you don't mind, Carol. When I was watching this, I was like, "Are we going to see Carol?" Because all they do is talk about Carol. Episode 4, I do believe, she shows up.
I did not know that.
It's called like Coming Home to
Nope. You know what? Forget it. We're gonna.
It's on episode 4,
finishing
Return to Nantucket,
We're so
Part
close.
2.
And
Part
she's
2.
on there. I didn't know that. Well, yeah. Brian kind of reveals that she's left him too. And I said, this broad has really done a number on.
That's when Joe calls her a pig.
Yeah,
because remember he was calling her. What's her face was
Helen was calling her a
pig, and he
was
wouldn't
trying
do
to
it.
defend her. Yeah.
Yep.
And finally, he's like, you know what? You left both of us. Screw this, broad.
Yeah.
Brian then prepares to leave with Roy's airline, and then Joe offers him a job with his airline. Brian says, no, I don't think so. Right?
Family shouldn't work together.
And then Faye says, you know what? I recognize this key. It's to one of the lockers right upstairs. So they toss the key to Lowell. Did you say he was on the phone with his mom?
Yeah, he was on the phone with his mom.
Yeah, he goes, "Hold on, Mom," and he puts the receiver down.
And then
I want you to know.
He only has like 3 lines.
It's like I want you to know this was Scratch was already on
Right.
his box.
I was like, Joe Hackett, number 7. You're like, no. Brian Hackett, number 7. Lowell's like the best character.
Yeah,
right?
Lowell pretty much
because
steals the show.
because he just came in and had those lines and left. You
And
know,
your mom kept going, where do I know him from?
Yeah,
and then
Hayden
you guys
Church.
said Ned and Stacy.
He's been on a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
I said Ned and Stacey.
He's also the Sandman from
Yep,
the
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man movie.
That is totally true.
The Spider-Man.
So they throw the key up to Lowell. Lowell opens the thing. He says, here's a suitcase. He drops it down. So everyone gathers around as they open it. And apparently it's just a bunch of those canned springs.
Snakes.
It was kind of like a jump scare,
Yeah,
like
it was.
in a jump scare.
They
for
sure as hell surprises them and
Yep.
explodes everywhere.
And all that's left is a picture,
Yeah.
a black and white picture of the two of them at the lake when they were kids, and they kind of look over and they kind of insult each other a little bit, and then they're like, "Wait a minute, what's that in the waters?
What's that whale
It's a
in the
whale."
background?
And it ends up being Helen.
What's it say on the back of the picture? Do you remember?
I don't.
I do.
What is it?
You're rich.
Yeah.
You're rich.
And
Because
he
they
was
got each other.
He was absolutely not talking about currency or monies. He's talking about family. You have each other.
This
You're
was
rich.
a ruse, all just to get these two back together.
Roy announces the Hartford flight is ready to go, and that the one that Brian should be leaving on. And Brian says, "You know what? I'll take the job." Joe says, "You start Monday." We see the picture that they were looking at in the credits. The end. Is there even turbulence to be had here?
We'll
Yes.
see.
Please remain
We'll
seated
see.
as we are now crossing a zone of turbulence.
We shall see.
And we will get into that in just a moment. I do want to wrap this up by saying thank you to
You're
Scott
welcome.
and
Thank you.
Dustin for being a part
Thank
of the
you for
program.
having me here.
Yep.
From its inception up to our current episode. It really does mean a lot to have both of you guys here. And
Happy to be here.
I hope something is in the future for the 4 of us going forward to
We'll
do
have
stuff
sex, it's
because I mean, okay.
Oh,
But thank you guys. Is there
Thanks,
anything
guys.
you want to say,
Thank you.
Blake?
no, I love these guys. They're my podcasting buddies, and we've been doing it for a long time. And we've been doing it so long we can almost finish each other's
Sandwiches.
sandwiches.
Don't interrupt him. Guys, don't interrupt him. What were we going to say? I'm sorry.
Sandwiches.
Sandwiches.
So thank you guys. And hey, we'll catch you on the flippy flip, right?
See ya.
Missed you, Tony Shalhoub.
Oh, merciful heavens. Dustin and Scott, a couple of guys who've been with us since day one. What a great couple of guests.
Icons.
Yeah, fine. Icons. Either way.
They're iconic.
We have moved into the section known as Turbulence, where we discuss the things that are wrong with this pilot. But I tell you what, there's 2 people that I'd like to bring on right now where I can't think of one goddamn thing wrong with.
No,
And they share the last name. That's a good starting point.
Well, it's because they're biblically married
What does that mean?
in the eyes of the Lord.
Oh, let's ask about their marriage when they come on and how they were married.
You want to ask how they're married or like what they do in the bedroom?
Well, like my dad was married last year.
Oh, really?
And,
Congratulations.
Oh, and also with you, thank you. My sister said, "Hey, Dad's married." I was like, "What?" He's
Oh,
like,
you weren't there?
No, he's like, "Your dad got married," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Our dad got married or your dad got married?
Well, we don't have the same dad, so
no, I'm saying your sister said our dad or your dad.
I have the same dad as my sister,
Okay.
and she was like, my dad got married." I was like, "All right."
Why do you say my dad? You're saying that she said my dad got married.
I don't think you're focusing on the right stuff. My dad went to the courthouse with his betrothed. There was no pomp, certainly no circumstance. And they just signed a couple of fucking pieces of paper, and that was it.
And then your sister said to you,
"Your dad got our married." That's what she said to me.
I think you're just fucking with
Does that
me.
make sense, though?
You're just fucking with me.
I'm just saying that not everyone who gets married makes it a religious thing or goes into a church.
But
and
these two did. It's obvious.
I don't know the answer to that.
I know the answer.
Well,
I was there.
That certainly is not the case. Let's bring on Brian and Amanda. They're married. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks.
We actually did not get married in a church.
We did not.
Okay, I was at the wrong wedding. They look a lot like you guys.
Where did you guys get married, and why was it not religious?
Actually, we got married at the little wood schoolhouse chapel in Summer Park, up by Charter Oak, kind of.
Summer Park. I feel like I went to
When
as
you were a
child.
kid,
Yes,
for like field trips. They had the pioneer houses, and this is like a pioneer schoolhouse. So it was like an all wood little small chapel schoolhouse.
Whereabouts in the Peoria area is that?
That's by Charter Oak. It's out on the edge, kind of
Charter
by
Oak.
Orange.
Okay, so kind of
Orange County.
150-ish.
Yeah, out by the new
Allen
mall.
Road.
Out by the new
Yeah.
mall.
Okay, what? What did you say?
Huh?
What did you say?
Nothing.
He said,
No,
Oh.
I said Orange County.
Orange County.
Yeah.
So you guys
Orange Prairie Road.
got married at the chapel out there.
Yeah.
But it was at a chapel. And
It wasn't.
There was a
no, it's
priestess.
not legit chapel. It's actually a pioneer schoolhouse, but it looks like a small chapel. And one of our friends married us, and I grew up Catholic, as you might have known from Kevin. Kevin and I always talk about Catholic stuff. But so I wanted a super Catholic service, so it sounded like what weddings I grew up with all my cousins. But I didn't like. It's not at a church, so you can't have a Catholic service.
"Well, let's back up."
Yeah.
That's what I was waiting for. Old boy says, excuse me.
At first, someone was like, "If we
Oh,
ever
yeah.
get married, we should just get some friends and go to Vegas and just have fun."
What?
I'm like, that
when
sounds
did
like
I
a
say
great
this?
idea.
I don't know when I said that.
You said this.
What, like, wait, like date 2 or something?
Probably
When you were
no,
just
no.
saying whatever.
Intoxicated.
Yeah,
You said,
Did you
like,
know on
intoxicated
date 2 that you wanted to marry this guy?
No.
You said like 5 years in.
Oh,
Like,
maybe
oh,
5 years in. We
should-
didn't get married till 10 years in,
Are you
mind you,
serious?
people. Yeah, we were together 10 years
I
before we
think
got
they mentioned
married.
that on the show.
What
before.
took him so long?
I know, right? I'm a catch. What took him so long?
I
I
think
don't
you're
know. You're
amazing.
good
Well, it
question.
became easier when she said she wanted to go to Vegas.
Okay.
And
At
as soon-
5 years, but I still didn't get a ring.
But as
for
soon as that
another-
ring slid on that finger, suddenly it's I want like a
The ring's on the finger.
wedding.
She's got you. Now she makes the rules.
She makes, yeah, which is the way it goes.
But still, like, do you feel like that was a good compromise to go to a park and do it at a schoolhouse versus like a church that's probably expensive and you have all again the pomp and circumstance of
the
a priest and
schoolhouse
tradition.
was of necessity because someone planned our wedding in 5 weeks.
Wow,
That
it
was
was
not
5
me.
weeks from the time you asked until you got married.
No. We had been engaged for 3 years by the time we actually got married. Just about 3 years, I would say. It was right before the 3rd year anniversary of us getting engaged. But shortly after we got engaged, I had a back issue. I was like laid up for like a whole year, and then it took
year?
like between rehab and stuff. Like I had to do
Holy
extensive
cow.
physical rehab and stuff, and so I couldn't even like think about walking down an aisle, like let alone having a legit wedding. So then we lost all of our wedding fund because that all happened after we got engaged. I had this like money set aside, and so in 2015 Halloween was going to fall on a Saturday, and that was always what Brian and I wanted, was to get married on Halloween.
Yes,
And
that's.
I was
is
just
that your guys' both favorite holiday?
100%, yeah,
Absolutely, me too.
yeah,
Awesome.
love it.
Are you pointing at me?
Favorite holiday?
Father's Day.
No, Halloween. The one that's all about him.
I see how this goes.
I hate Halloween. Okay.
You hate
No,
Halloween?
hold on. Let me.
Sidebar.
Hold on.
You just said that half the table's favorite holidays are like 3/4 of the
This
table's
is-
holiday.
Halloween is fine. As a parent, Halloween sucks.
We used to do IBWIP, and you would do very special Halloween episodes, and that was one of the things I loved about that show because I love Halloween. We're in September right now.
Yes.
Pull behind the curtain, and all the Halloween stores are open, and you get to go see a bunch of bloody guts and shit at these fucking stores.
Yes, love it.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I was waiting for him to
I don't know what
retort.
we say.
But Father's Day still. That's your favorite?
Did you say retard?
Retort.
Oh, okay. Thank God. I was like, this is not that kind of show.
Yeah, don't call him that.
Hey, and if you say that in front of my wife, she will punch you in the face.
He gets that.
Obviously, because you have.
Blake gets he gets that
reason
so
you know.
much. Do not
Yes.
give that to him here, please.
Yeah. So okay, I was there. It wasn't a church, not a church. It was a little steeple. You
Open the
open it up,
doors,
and there's the people.
see all the people.
They
Anyways.
got married on Halloween.
We got married on Halloween. I decided that year it was 5 weeks. 5 weeks to Halloween, and I was like, you know what, we're doing it. We're getting
Were your
married
colors
this year at
orange and
Halloween.
black?
Initially, I didn't want that, but it ended up being that.
That's
out of-
cool. That's cool.
But it was a legit wedding. There was not costumes. Like I wore.
You weren't
like,
a vampirist?
I didn't wear like a long wedding dress. I wore a short white dress. But
Ooh.
Brian had a black suit, and so it was a legit wedding. My bridesmaids just wore whatever black dress
Blue
they
jeans
wanted,
and-
and
Are you both happy with the way it turned out?
yeah.
It sounds really cool.
Yeah, it was
The park
100%.
seems like a
and then
cool
we
place.
had, and then I did like a luncheon reception for the people that were at the ceremony back at our house.
And it was great food. I enjoyed all of it.
I made all the
The
food,
roast
so
beef
of
was
course
great.
It was. But then we had like a late night Halloween party, and we invited like all of our friends that we couldn't invite to the ceremony because
awesome.
it was so small.
And
so
that I didn't
it
get
was
invited to.
That was out at Summer Park too?
No, it was at our house.
Oh, that was your house. Okay.
Yeah, and then even one of the doctors from where I work came and played rock band with all my
Hell yeah.
friends and stuff. It was really fun.
Yeah.
Cool.
What's your guys' favorite rock band song to play?
We really like playing Psycho Killer with our friends. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, Talking Heads, great band.
Yeah.
I'm a message in a bottle kind of guy.
Of course.
What does that mean? Of course I am. You think I'm into tantric sex? Is that what you think it
No,
is?
it's just bizarre, and it just sounds like something you'd be like, yeah.
That was a very selfish segue talking about tantric sex into the last time we had Amanda on.
Right.
We called Pure Romance.
Yes,
That's
thank you.
right.
This is finally coming to
Yes.
fruition.
We left her a message.
Sorry, I missed your call.
Well, I feel like she dodged it on purpose, which I can't blame you.
I did not. There were a lot of circumstances.
We were actually at a wedding down in Tennessee. when we
Okay.
called,
Yes.
so
All right.
we couldn't answer.
Oh yeah.
I think Tim told us.
Tim was saying that.
Tim
you
said,
were.
"Don't call them. They're at a wedding," and we just
We
did it
just
anyway.
called them
Right.
anyway. But we had called Pure Romance as a lady. It's essentially a pyramid scheme.
Brittany.
They go around with a bunch of
yeah.
dilders and they try to sell them to ladies and have these parties. And you were trying to set up one for a bachelorette party.
Yes, for
Did
my
it-
girlfriend who got married, whose wedding I was at when you called. Yes.
Did it happen? How did it go?
It did happen.
Nice.
Because the lady we talked to, remember, she was busy, but she was going to
Brittany.
reach out.
Yes.
To her following.
One of her
peoples.
pyramid scheme people.
One of her.
And she
below
actually
people.
did, it sounds
And
like.
she did. I got a call the immediate next day.
Nice.
And to get it all set up and stuff. I was super thankful that it was all set up and
Obviously
I didn't have
not
to worry
because you
about it.
didn't contact us. And
We
tell you thank you.
are kind of responsible
Sure,
for getting
right.
that
You
together.
are 100%.
We need to call her friend.
You
that
know,
we did.
you know who should call you and tell you thank you is the hostess
no.
that actually came to my house.
Was she the
yeah?
hostess?
She's newer to the business. She hasn't been doing it a long
The
time.
dildo
She was
business?
yeah.
I'm
she
new
was-
to the dildo business.
Yeah, she was super excited. It was her first bachelorette party, and as I told her on the show, like, my group of friends is a little rowdy.
Please regale us with what happened.
So so she came to the house and
Nice.
set up all of her stuff, and they pass around the stuff. You get to try stuff. There's
Try stuff.
creams.
What did we miss?
There's creams that you can use for blowjobs that taste like sugar cookies. And
Just
shit.
so you know, it doesn't.
I'm
it's
just
not
saying.
It's not. That stuff is bullshit. It did not help me, and supposedly it did not help her.
It didn't
Well,
help
I
you.
think-
It didn't
I
help
think
you
it
in
masked-
giving your blowjobs. Or
I think
what are you talking
it
about?
masked the stank of my dick
That's
for my wife. but other
exactly
than that, it didn't do
100%, and
nothing
that's
else.
100% what it is, though.
Some Stay Hard scented creams.
Well, supposedly she's
Listen.
like, she put it on and she's like, how does it feel? I was like, she's like, is it tingling? I'm like, no, it's not.
That means it's working.
She's like, it was $36. I was like, my dick should be numb by now.
Bummer.
Why do you want your dick to be numb? That's a bad
Tingle.
idea.
It's supposed to tingle.
don't
Okay,
want
but
a taste
not
of the
numb.
numb dick.
Like, what the hell's that gonna do?
I was like, maybe if you did a better job, it would be tingling.
Brian, did you ever read that book, The Hardy Boys in the Case of the Numb Dick?
Oh, it's one of my favorites.
But But she, so everybody was like super into it. All the girls that were there, and we knew.
Because your friends are all freaks.
And two, I had people get upset that they weren't invited. So, but I mean, we tailored this event to like people that we knew would be like pumped for this activity.
Sure,
all into sex toys.
Yeah, right. Who wouldn't be there and be like, oh my god, what is going on? You know, like, listen, don't be that girl. Come on, like, come hang out.
Open your mind, have some fun.
Yes. Yeah. So evidently, we found out that this girl had like some incredible amount in sales, like record breaking.
Nice.
Buying dildos by the truckload, huh?
Yeah,
That's
totally
awesome.
Blake,
totally
we are super responsible.
So she owes you, Tammy from Pure Romance, owes you a thank you, sir, because you were the ones to hook her up with this, event.
She owes you guys sugar cookie
event of a life. Yes. She owes you some sugar cookie blowjobs.
Was she attractive enough for me to want a sugar cookie?
I don't know. Sure, she was a nice girl.
We have a pen that had the number for Brittany.
Yes.
We should get a pen from this lady.
From Tammy.
So we should
I know.
call
I just
Tammy
got a business card.
and thank Tammy for what happened that night.
I've got a business card at home.
Yeah,
don't worry.
All right. Well, that's we might be in touch with
maybe
Tammy
next time. Maybe next time I come with college.
That was a bachelorette party. It sounds fun. It sounds silly.
Yeah,
it sounds like a good
fun.
time.
It was a good time.
Do you have any experience like that, Brian? Any bachelor party that may get out of control, or you guys bought a bunch of dildos?
No.
You would buy a bunch of dildos.
I always think that like
At a bachelor
when you hear bachelor party, you think,
let's buy dildos.
crazy
Strippers.
Yeah, and then it's just a bunch of fucking guys hanging around getting drunk, and nothing else happens.
No, the same night we went to round one, played some video games, and then we went to the strip club. But the strippers were super bored.
I honestly, at this point, I am more interested in round one. That is a fun place. Did you play the super big Pac-Man game?
I don't think so.
How about the Ghostbusters ping pong ball game?
No.
Ghostbusters ping pong ball game.
It's like a first-person shooter kind of, but like you're aiming with this thing with two handles, and then if you and your partner are both aiming at the same thing at the same time, it'll shoot a bunch of ping pong balls on the screen. What did you play out there?
I did play that one, but I didn't have anybody playing with me, so I missed the ping pongs.
Which strip club did you go to?
Club Cabaret.
Oh yeah, Club Chub all the way.
Why is that? Because you can order a steak and get your shoe shine and haircut there?
Right, and a haircut.
It's a fucking weird assortment of...
And while you're waiting, your car's getting washed.
Isn't it weird, all the services they
there's
provide?
a lot of services there. They got a lot of services.
Strippers, like...
I've never seen anyone in the barbershop, though. Like,
Of course not.
They're open like 2 hours a day.
I remember the first time I ever went over there and I walked in and there was like the barber. And you're like, what? And there's like no one ever in there. And you're like, that's so weird.
Of course there's not. No, who says... Bring, bring. Yeah. Chub Club. Can you patch me through to the haircut department? I'd like to schedule a haircut. No one says that fucking shit. They go in there to see boobies.
I don't know. I feel like Blake might get his haircut there.
He's got a good haircut.
He does.
Blake's efficient. He's a time saver.
Yeah, he is.
Right.
He's like he's trying to do all the things at the one time.
He gets his steak dinner.
Yeah,
I want a
steak
shoe
dinner.
shine.
Yeah, I was like,
and
you
a
know what?
stripper.
Here's
All
what's going on in my
cigars.
life. I need a haircut, obviously.
Obviously.
I've been hankering for a steak.
Sure, yeah.
And I'd love to see boobies of girls that don't need to be dancing around. I have a whole wad of cash.
Sure,
And
yeah.
I don't want it.
No.
Gotta get rid of that cash.
Gotta get rid of that.
What should I do? I'll go Club Chub.
All those things. Check.
Check.
Boom, 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 boom. Was it any good when you went, Brian?
This time, no.
No.
No, we went. There was like one other group there of obnoxious, like 21-year-olds.
Sure.
Fuck those guys, right?
And the strippers were not very exciting. None of us were into any of the strippers.
How long ago was this? Can I ask?
Just whenever the same night her.
Okay,
event was.
so this is just a few months ago,
Yeah.
right? And so you're there with probably a bunch of guys around your same age.
Yep.
Versus another party with a bunch of young guys. Who did the
Yeah.
strippers gravitate towards? I'm going to guess you guys because they would think you guys have more money.
Money.
Yeah.
It just depends on
Maybe.
how outwardly people are being with their money, though.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that if the young guys are walking up and they're already throwing money,
Yeah,
then
then
of course
it's-
it's whoever's most outward with their money
You're right.
initially.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that you're right. I think that you would.
They were going up to
gravitate-
the stage more than we were.
One of
Yeah.
the most awkward times Well, there's been 2.
All right.
Jason was involved in one of these
Ooh,
at a strip
boy.
club. I think it's the only time we've ever been to a strip club together.
Yeah, I don't really like strip clubs are like casinos to me.
Yeah.
I never walk out of a strip club with a 2-ton mega boner. Like
Yeah,
it doesn't do anything for me at all. But we went to a strip club in Tennessee, and again, it didn't do anything except produce some great stories.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, always great
There's
stories.
been 2 awkward situations I've been in at a strip club. One is in Johnson City, Tennessee.
What was that place called?
The Fuzzy Hole.
Absolutely,
The Fuzzy
it's the
Hole.
Fuzzy Hole.
And
We did some live shows down there,
Right,
And,
and
we checked out that place, and it was a nightmare.
it was a nightmare. The girl, there was this girl. She was a very nice, sweet girl. She
Dakota.
Yeah, I didn't want to name names,
Well,
but
there you go.
You know me, I don't name names. And she was just nice, and she was nice to the whole group the whole
Chatty.
time.
Yeah.
And then it was her turn to dance, and so I was like, okay,
I'll
this
give her
girl,
some money.
give her some money, and she rubbed her butt on my chest on my brand new IBWIP T-shirt.
We went down there for some live shows, and some sponsors for us brought us brand new T-shirts with logos for our stuff, and you wore it.
And she rubbed what seemed to smell like poop.
A
on it.
dookie stain.
A dookie stain on it.
No.
That
Yes.
Stop.
was awesome.
Yes, and
Oh
it cost
my
me
God.
$5. And the second time was when I was at Molly's brother, his bachelor party. We were there, and it was a hopping. There was a busy
Sure.
night. There was a lot of dancers,
Yeah.
and
This is local.
yeah, it Club Chub, and this girl came up to me, and I had no interest in giving her money.
Yeah.
And she was trying very
Just
hard.
insistent.
And
Oh, I can't stand a pushy stripper. I can't stand a pushy stripper.
and it was so awkward to have to say, and I said this, I don't want to spend my money on you. Because she didn't
Take
take
the
any
cues.
of the cues.
Right.
I eventually had to look at her in the eye and say, I don't want to give any of my money to you.
It is interesting.
And I thought I was going to get shanked.
when,
Right?
I felt like I was at Wentworth
Yeah.
prison and I was going to get shanked.
What was her response to that? Did she did the life drain further from her eyes?
It was one of those things where she just got up and she walked away, and she obviously had been told this before, and so
Right.
it was like boom, and she just walked away.
Yeah.
but
That's part of
that's
the job.
that's the
Right,
it is,
yeah.
and what I don't go with a lot of money because I'm a poor man.
Sure.
So I'm not just going to, and I've done this in the past, and I didn't like it. Is I just felt bad
Oh,
for the
sure,
first girl
yeah.
because I'm like, this girl is doing
No
the-
one's giving her any money.
and I've done that in the past,
Yeah.
and then I didn't enjoy any of it.
Yeah.
And so now I'm like, I only have 25.
I'm holding my dollars for the good
I
one.
have one lap dance worth of money, and you, my friend, are not going to do it.
A guy you used to podcast with, Shannon, when he would come into town, sometimes you guys would go to strip clubs, and you would interview strippers.
That is another. We went to at the time it was the Cat's Eye over on Farmington Road, right next to the Comedy
it was
Club,
called the Cat's Eye,
or something like that. Yeah,
I know it as Pulse
Fantasyland?
or Fantasyland.
Yeah,
Right,
but it was-
Pulse and
I think it's Pulse
Fantasyland.
right
I don't
now,
know when
right?
it was
Yeah.
the Cat's Eye.
It was
I don't
like
either.
a Cat's Eye or
For
something
like
like
a week, probably.
Yeah.
Probably in between Pulse and Fantasyland.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Fantasyland when I was in my 21,
Yep.
when I would hang out.
We went for
Same-
my
same
birthday,
here.
which is the 15th of March. It was like St. Patrick's Day.
It was the same day that Caesar got stabbed in the back by all of his friends.
Thank you. And I'm just waiting for you guys to fucking get it over with.
It'll happen.
And so they had like a featured dancer who, from
Oh,
a
yeah.
traveling dancer,
Sure, yeah.
And we were there, and there was nobody there. And
about right.
her first show was supposed to be at 7, so we were there.
No one was there.
And since there was nobody there, she didn't come out. She didn't do her 7:00 dance or show
yeah.
because there was nobody except me and him there. And then they had a baby shower for one of the dancers.
What?
On the
What?
stage.
I wasn't there for this.
What?
On the stage.
Stop.
I'm not lying to you. So finally,
This is
No,
at
I swear
this
to
is
God.
like 8
I
p.m.
would-
on a Saturday.
I would not lie to you.
They're having a baby shower for one of the strippers. I mean, doesn't that seem like a Thursday at 2 p.m. kind
Absolutely.
of activity?
Amanda,
Thursday
Like-
too.
Amanda, just to let you know,
What?
she was in a skimpy outfit and still danced that night. swear to God.
That's a very specific kink.
Oh
Yes.
my god.
And so then finally,
Oh god.
I was thinking to myself, this is horrible. You know, I came to see this featured dancer.
Yeah.
She won't come out because there's nobody there.
Yeah.
Then I have this baby shower to deal with.
I still can't believe it. 8 p.m.
Finally, this semi-moderate, beautiful woman comes out. And I was like,
Semi-moderate.
my pocket is burning. I was like, oh, I'm going to
You're
say
there
some
and there's
tatas.
nothing going on. Anything is going to spark.
Yeah, I'm like,
Is that from the chlamydia?
My pocket's burning.
just breathing it. I think I breathed chlamydia. So I'm like,
Communicable.
finally,
Chlamydia.
this girl, she comes up and we're talking, and me and Shannon were podcasters, and I had,
Chlamydia is airborne.
don't breathe the chlamydia. Anyway, so she sits down and she has nothing else to fucking do, right? There's like 3 other people,
yeah.
And we go into like podcast mode and like we start interviewing her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's going great. She's
going great.
I wish I would have.
Everybody likes to talk about themselves. Okay.
Yeah. And so
So
then I'm
that's
like,
all there is.
I'm like, hey, I'd like to have a lap dance.
Sure.
Yeah.
So she says, that's great because I'm, $40 behind already.
Yeah.
So we go into the back and I sit down.
She pulls her dick out.
I wish.
No.
I wish.
Well,
Oh,
Big
it's bigger than mine. Damn it.
God damn it. Give me 5 of that 10 back. So I'm sitting down and she straddles me and starts taking her clothes off and proceeds to continue this interview conversation in regards to like
What?
her kids.
so
Oh my god.
So in
She's
an
talking
act
about her
that's supposed to be sexual
Yes.
turns out to be just a
Like, oh yeah,
conversation.
by the way.
Yeah.
By the way, I got
And I realized,
3 kids.
yeah, exactly. I'm like,
One's in kindergarten.
you look like you only have 2.
No. Don't tell about your kids.
Yeah.
Tell me about my huge hard
Yeah,
cock.
Right?
tell me about how
Tell me
much
how
you
wet you are.
Tell
Don't
me, yeah,
fucking-
Right.
Tell me how much you want to fuck my brains
Yeah,
out for
don't-
$20.
Tell me about how you can't pay your electric bill. Come on.
And so we're continuing this conversation because I just can't
You don't know what to do.
I can't say
Shut up.
hey
Shut up.
whore bitch, please just
Oh, that's
you know,
awful.
but you know what I mean. She sits down and she's grinding and doing this stuff with her boobs.
Yeah.
And
As you do.
You do.
she takes her boobs and smushes them together, wiggles them around, and then she puts them on my face. And I'm not lying. This happened. We both at the same time just broke out in laughter. I don't know why. We broke out in
Oh
laughter.
my god. This sounds
So the next
Aren't both of you insulted at the same time?
Yeah, right? That you laughed at
Yeah,
me
I-
and she laughed at you.
ironically,
you
no.
laughed at her. And, she
And I
laughed
was
at
thinking to myself, I wish this was Freebird so I could get my money's worth because by the time the song's over, we'll just get done laughing and getting through this awkward moment. And so she ended up giving me an extra song because we were just fucking laughing at each other.
Awfully neighborly of her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
I went to Fantasyland to see a midget stripper once.
How was that?
Oh, which one?
Oh, sounds great.
Nah.
Ends up
It's
not being
weird.
great.
It's just weird,
Right?
right?
Which,
Things are
which midget?
proportioned. Which
I don't
midget?
remember.
I know
How many
one-
times have you said that in your life?
I know one midget stripper.
Stripper.
Stripper?
I can't drink this.
No, no good. Natty Light, the strawberry Natty.
Yeah, it's-
Was it a specific one? Was it like a porn star?
I think so. I honestly don't remember.
Maybe I'm showing my cards
I
here,
don't
but
know.
Bridget the midget
Just try
is the
it.
one that I've heard of. I don't know
Yeah.
any other.
It wasn't her,
I just can't do sweet.
but she had worked with her before, I think.
No.
But yeah, my friend Randy's really into little people.
The
So-
Randy from your old show.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's why we all went.
He's into little people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I'm not saying
Loves
like a
them.
sexual thing. It's just
No,
like if there's a
just-
little person,
yes.
he's
You don't,
like,
you don't have to.
he's like, that is awesome.
That's
Oh,
awesome. Yeah.
that's
Just
awesome.
loves
Yeah.
little people.
So we went for him.
Little people, big world. Am I right?
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And she comes out and like for like 5 minutes, you're like, oh wow, this is insane. And then after that, you're kind of like, all right, I don't want to do this anymore.
I love that it's Randy's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. So my
pretty
friend,
brilliant.
my friend
Oh,
Dave was wearing
man.
a shirt kind of like I am, like a little button-up shirt with a t-shirt.
Yeah.
So she took his button-up shirt and then like flossed with it,
Sure.
and then gave it back to him.
flossed the vag
He just walked
with
with
the shirt.
with between his fingers.
Sure he
and
did.
said he burned it when he got home.
It smelled like rotten eggs and cotton candy.
Oh, Lord.
I probably have been to the strip club the most recent out of this whole table.
I haven't been to a strip
Yeah.
club in years.
Yeah, I actually just went a few weeks ago.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which one and for what reason?
I was horny.
But no, there's this whole story. Well, this girlfriend of my best friend, her and I have been friends and hung out with my girlfriend together, but her and I have never gone anywhere together. And Shannon was going to be out of town, and she wanted to have a girls' night, so she called me and said, "Hey, do you want to go out?" And I was like, "Sure, I'll go out." She goes, "Okay, it's a surprise." And you're like, "All right, whatever."
But you've never hung out with this girl one-on-one?
Never one-on-one. Never
Okay.
her and I one-on-one, yeah. Just in the group with my best friend. So, we go down to this bar that's called, like, Kickbacks?
Downtown Peoria.
Downtown Peoria,
Sure,
across from the
okay.
Civic Center, this
Yeah.
little bar there. And,
Part of the
mind you,
Civic Center
she's-
Plaza, I believe.
Yeah, mind you, she's sober.
Okay.
She doesn't drink. She was an alcoholic and she's sober. So we go to this bar so that Amanda can sit here and drink, okay, I guess. I don't know.
Drink in
So
front
I'm
of
like,
me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, whatever.
your breath. I want to see you enjoy
Let me
it.
lick your lips.
I want to sniff your mouth.
So whatever. I'm just drinking drinks or whatever. And so at this point, I don't know. I'm going to strip club still. Like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. I'm
Just getting a
just
couple
out,
beers?
okay?
Yeah.
Whatever. We're out. I'm out and doing whatever. I'm trying to be friendly to this girl that is friends with my best friend, and she's fun. And yeah, and then we leave there after I think I had 3 drinks there, and then we left there, and she's driving, and then I see her pull in next to the bus depot around, and I said, "Are we going to Big Al's?"
That's Big Al's, downtown Peoria. World famous
World
Big
famous.
Al's.
Yes. And she says to
First
me,
episode of Real Sex on HBO.
No.
Featured Big Al's.
yeah,
Wow.
So years ago, like in the
Years
late
ago,
80s,
yeah.
early
Interesting
90s.
fact.
Wow.
that was
I
a
had no
90s
idea.
show.
Nice
yeah.
pull, Brian.
No kidding.
Right?
Was also featured on Rock of Love with Brett Michaels.
Well, of course,
Good
because
Lord.
he comes here and they treat him like he's a fucking royalty.
Of course.
Yeah.
And Peoria is the bandana capital of the United States.
Bandanas and chicken fingers is what we're known for.
Right. So I'm like, okay. So she's like, yeah. She's like, I just need someone else's touch or something. I don't know.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. Some kind of like weird. She says this weird thing about like once a year she has to go just to serve her bi-curious tendencies or something.
I was
weird
just going
like
to ask
that. Yeah.
if it was like ladies' night. Doesn't sound like
No,
ladies' night at all.
no, sir. You're correct. You're correct. And I used to go, like, Brian has a huge group of guy friends, and I used to go to strip club with the boys all the time. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. Like, I have no problem being at a strip club.
She's been felt up a lot.
Like, yeah. and
Nice.
I'll give some dollars for some boobies in my face. Like,
you go.
whatever. I'll hang out. So I'm like, okay, fine. And I think that at my friend's wedding, we had talked about, like, we had gotten talking about strip clubs, and I had said that one of my favorite things at strip club is when the strippers click their shoes together.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, fucking
Yes.
click those shoes. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Just
I hear
click
you.
the shoes.
So
I-
weird.
Because each one of those heels
It's like,
weigh about 5
clunk,
pounds
clunk,
apiece.
clunk.
It's a Pavlovian response.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I think it is, but I like a girl that can do good pole work and click her shoes. Like,
Yep.
for me, it's a show.
Yeah.
It's like drinks in a show. Like,
Sure,
I'm
sure.
there for the performance.
magic show.
I'm there for the performance.
You're waiting for the helicopter to disappear
Yeah.
from the stage.
You know,
Yeah.
some people say, professional wrestling's stupid. I don't like it.
No.
I genuinely like when there's a good athletic match. The same could be said
Yes.
as a stripper who can
Yeah.
really
Oh.
do something with
Right.
that pole.
100%. So we ended up going down there. She wanted to see some strippers. Most magical thing of the evening is that they had this big stage at the new Big Al's, and it had this hoop, like this giant hoop that was hanging from a rope.
Okay.
And a stripper actually. So we sat there, and I was like, "Have you ever seen anyone do this hoop to Kim or whatever?" And she was like, "No, I haven't." And I was like, yeah, it's just up there for show. This is early on. We're sitting at the bar I'm having a drink. She's drinking a soda, and I'm like
Stone cold sober. She wants to.
she's-
She wants to explore her bi curiosity.
I'm like trying to
yeah.
drink. I get down there and I just like drinking beer at the other place because I don't know where the hell we were going.
Right,
So I was
right.
drinking beer at the other place. So I wanted to continue drinking beer. The only beer they have on draft at Big Al's is Guinness. And when they poured it, so I was like, okay, I'll get a Guinness. hot fucking Guinness is what they have.
Just like
down
in
there.
Europe, the boiling hot beers.
Oh, it's fucking awful.
Great.
And but yeah, I actually got to see a stripper like swing around on one of these giant hoops. Yeah, she
like a Mexican girl's earrings.
She like sat in it. Yeah, she sat in it and swung and like hung upside down and shit. Like it was brilliant. Like it was awesome.
Hold on, what night was this?
It was a Saturday, a couple
night.
Saturdays ago.
Okay. All right, great.
Anyways, yeah, but it was funny. It was a little strip club.
More than anything, I think strip clubs just generate. No one's like, oh my god.
Right.
You can't imagine the powerful fucking erection.
It's
about the stories that are generated.
It is 100% about the stories.
This is what happens at a strip club. You go to a strip club, you give a girl money who acts like she finds you attractive, but doesn't finish and jerk you off, and then you leave.
Well, how much money you got?
But, I've never had that opportunity because I would have taken it. Even from Poop Girl, I probably if Poop Girl would have jerked me off, it would have made the situation better.
But she would have used poop to jerk you off. And
I had a buddy that
Brian, it's not that bad.
Then you would have been poop dick.
Hey, it's not been the first time.
I had a buddy though that had a similar incident where but it was the butt in the face. And he got pink eye. Ain't no joke. My buddy got pink eye from the strip club. Ain't no joke.
Speaking of turbulence,
Sounds about right. And that is the part of the show that we're in. Is turbulence. So, as much as I love to talk about assholes and eyeballs, I'll mention that the pilot episode of Wings
has none of these.
No, this leads up. Do you remember when Brian married Carol?
Oh yeah, that little hussy slut.
You guys have seen the pilot episode.
Yeah.
This is the part of the show where we're past all the build-up. We're past the plot of the show. What went wrong? And this is a series that lasted for 8 years.
Yeah,
so did anything go wrong?
Yeah.
Should we ask them their rating and then talk about turbulence?
Sure.
So
Yeah.
don't forget.
Let's get their rating.
Amanda, 1 through 7, 7 being the best, 1 being the worst. Roy Biggins. How do you rate the pilot episode of Wings?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna give this one a solid 6.
Ooh, solid.
Good
6.
score.
Yeah,
Good score.
solid 6.
Yeah. Did you grow up watching Wings? Were you familiar with it?
I would have been 6 when this pilot aired.
Okay,
So-
well that's great. I'm a really fucking old man. 'Cause
Right.
I was 15 and
You are. Yeah, I was actually
Why don't I
6,
hang out with
but
people
my
my own
mom
age?
loved Wings. My mom loved Wings,
Yeah,
and so
yeah.
I remember watching it with her.
Totally.
And so I kind of, like, as the seasons went further, of course I remember watching
Sure,
a few
because you were
episodes
older
because I was
and-
a little
yeah.
older. But yeah.
Well, Brian, what about you? What is your rating for the pilot?
I was going to go
of
about a
Wings?
5.
Okay.
And I think a lot of that's just because I did end up watching Wings as it went on, but I never saw the first episode before.
We were talking about the show earlier, how like there was a lot of popular shows that kind of eclipsed Wings, whether it was a Seinfeld as the anti-comedy or Friends as the massively popular mainstream comedy.
Right.
Wings was the show
Yeah.
that it kind of stayed the course.
Yeah.
just like
And-
just like in the intro song with the plane.
Yeah.
It just glided along.
Yeah.
It was soft, gentle.
8
Everything
seasons.
was beautiful.
Yeah.
It didn't it didn't shock anybody.
No.
It was there.
It was a solid piece of writing and comedy of the time.
Yeah.
It was a reflection of the time.
Yeah.
Right.
So you give it a 5?
Yeah.
And you give it a 6.
Yeah.
And those are great scores, I'd
Sure.
say.
Yeah.
You say?
Any turbulence? Do you remember from the pilot? Anything that
Yeah, anything you want to change or you'd like to see different?
besides? And I'll go ahead and quote it. I like to give that little tyke a bath.
Oh, yeah, it's something Brian said about
That was the
Helen.
only turbulence I had was Brian Hackett said about Helen.
Yeah.
I like to give that little tyke a bath.
What an odd thing to say.
It's very odd. Who wrote
That
it?
is weird. I don't even remember hearing that. That's weird.
You're better off.
Right?
Well, Brian,
I must have blocked
Must have
that
been
out.
thinking about strippers and hula hoops.
I was. Hello.
5 is slightly lower than a 6, obviously.
Sure.
Brian, is there anything that you would change about the pilot episode of Wings?
I guess not really.
I want
Like
to
I
know.
said, it's
I want to
only
know
really-
more about the old lady at this point.
Faye? Faye
Yeah,
Yetton?
I need to know more about the old lady. I feel like she was underdeveloped in the pilot.
I would
only,
say,
the
yeah.
only reason I gave it a 5 is because, like I said, I watched it regularly as the seasons went on, so I sort of already knew all the characters.
Yeah.
so I
Sure.
knew the setup and everything. So there was nothing that surprised me.
Sure.
in the pilot.
I would say of the main core cast, Faye was the most underrepresented.
Yeah.
Very,
For
but
sure.
I, to be honest with you, I think that was what was good about her. You know what I mean? You got a little bit of Faye.
Just peppered
Once
her
you
in.
You wanted to know
peppered
more.
in,
You
and
wanted to know more. Yeah, you wanted to
it's
know
like,
more.
it's like that. It's like that black stripper at
Right,
the club.
right.
Right.
You have to. You want to have her dance for you.
Yeah.
But all your friends are around.
Yeah.
What kind of friends are you hanging out
I
with?
don't know if I don't know if I could get on
That
board
was
with
horrible.
per
That
se.
was.
Right. You go with that.
Most of the shows we
Hey,
talk
Amanda, diarrhea.
Listen, you're going to get me.
about.
I'm desensitized to the diarrhea. You can't just say the word.
can't
It's
be-
got to be like in context. Like there's got to be some
How can
giant.
you be desensitized to diarrhea?
Because you've said it 92 times.
You've been to diarrhea? No.
You talking diarrhea to me?
Most of the shows we
Oh,
talk
okay.
about.
All right, stop. I don't mean.
Hold on.
I'm sorry.
He's going to try to get me now.
No, I'm not. A wine enema. We've talked about that on the show earlier.
Oh, yes.
Would you ever do a wine enema?
I don't see any reason to.
I would do it in a second.
Thank you. I don't
Have
see
you
any
heard of a
reason
wine
to.
enema before, Brian?
Couldn't you?
Sure.
No, I've heard of
Yeah, I'm sure I've heard of it, but I've just
You've
like
heard
that's
coffee
weird.
enemas,
I've
right?
heard of
Yeah.
I've heard of them doing beer chugging, like butt chugging. Right?
Oh yeah.
Like I've heard of.
That's a thing where, like, I've heard ladies they'll like soak their tampons with vodka.
Oh, sure.
And put them where tampons
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
And, but like it gets into their bloodstream, it gets them drunker quicker.
Well, yeah,
Right.
because the absorption. Yeah,
I think there
through
might
the
be.
vaginal canal.
I understand. Thank you very much.
I just wanted to say that for it.
You know what? It's the first time ever in 200 episodes vaginal canal has been said.
Oddly enough, we almost called the podcast vaginal.
Yes, we thought about it.
That was my punk band in college.
That's a great punchline for almost anything. Isn't it? To say. It's hard to say what went wrong with the show's pilot that lasted for 8 seasons.
Yeah,
That's not
right.
usually our
no,
boundary.
Yeah, exactly.
We talk about shows that
exactly.
had one episode
That didn't
only,
go, yeah.
and it's easy to dissect that shit. But for one that lasted 8 episodes or 8 seasons rather, it's hard to say what went wrong, and that's not necessarily what we're here to do today.
Right.
But it is a part of the show,
Right.
So I wanted to mention.
I
That.
will
Include
say no Tony Shalhoub.
Okay,
Not
was
until
added later.
Yeah.
Not until season 2.
there's a couple characters that come on later, inclling Tony Shalhoub, the most notable, I would say. That was
Antonio Scarpacci.
a number 3, if I'm not mistaken,
That's
on our
correct.
scale. So well, that's great. We got your ratings. We got what you thought was wrong, if anything.
We heard about your strip club.
A lot of
Yeah,
strip club
right?
talk.
Yeah.
A lot of.
I still
a lot
have-
of
We talk about
I did not expect
vibrators
that
and
at
strip
all.
club talks.
I still have
You
more
know,
strip club
you never
stories.
know.
I'll have to come back.
You
Right.
absolutely
We
will have to
do.
come
Well, I'm
back.
starting
Yeah.
a new podcast. It's called Strip Club Stories.
Yeah.
Strip club stories. Like I could probably get involved in this.
We got a little bit more show left to go, but before we do that, I do want to thank Amanda and Brian for coming back.
I love having both of them on.
You guys have
seriously.
been great additions to the show in the past year. Thank you so much for doing it. We really do appreciate it. Thank
congrats, you guys, on 200th
Yeah.
episode.
It's not that big.
Oh, it's exciting. Thanks for having us.